I can't even hear myself thinking all these eyes on me. Can't even pretend I don't see that all these eyes on me. I bet I give them something to see with all these eyes on me. As long as you be watching, baby, keep your eyes on me. Keep your eyes on me, I know that they be watching me. But why you watching me if you ain't looking out for me? I'm about my cheese, I'm about my moolah, about my broccoli. They be always see me when they see me, it be eyes on me. Really pull up in his pupils everywhere, looking sad, really, yeah, with the really do that shit I call before you came, looking sad, really, yeah, with the really, yeah, with the hop out of whatever, it's all eyes on me. Pick it by whoever, I'ma keep around me. All this used to see, but it's all eyes on me, all eyes on me, really, yeah, with the I can't even hear myself thinking all these eyes on me. Can't even pretend I don't see that all these eyes on me. I bet I give them something to see with all these eyes on me. As long as you be watching, baby, keep your eyes on me. Baby, eyes on me like they be scared to lose sight. I might give them something to see before I make them go. Night, my little buddies stay on go. Ready for a fight, they don't really hear me till I think about it. I can't even hear myself thinking all these eyes on me. Can't even pretend I don't see that all these eyes on me. I bet I give them something to see with all these eyes on me. As long as you be watching, baby, keep your eyes on me. Thinking about a life, they might love me, they might love twice, yeah. What it's gonna be, talking that green, then we can discuss the price, yeah. Nice, yeah, this light, yeah. Swimming real good, I like that. Till the pipe down, throw it right back, get it grip tight like it bite back. Fight back and I'll fight fast. Hold on, stay right there. Eyes on me, they look, they stuff. I'm your best nightmare. That shit just like Ric Flair, like woo, like woo. Baby, eyes on me when they wanna see that. Pop out and whatever, it's all eyes on me. Pick it by whoever, I'ma keep around me. All this used to see, but it's all eyes on me. All eyes on me, really, yeah, with the I can't even hear myself thinking all these eyes on me. Can't even pretend I don't see that all these eyes on me. I bet I give them something to see with all these eyes on me. As long as you be watching, baby, keep your eyes on me. Really pull up in his pupils everywhere, looking scared, really, yeah, with the really, yeah, with the really do that shit I call before you came, looking scared, really, yeah, with the really, yeah, with the hop out of whatever, it's all eyes on me. Pick it by whoever, I'ma keep around me. All these used to see, but it's all eyes on me, all eyes on me, really, yeah, with the all these eyes on me. Things change over and over again, but the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. Things change over and over again, but the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest, they're the greatest. Things change like the seasons. I used to stress about the reasons, obstacles by the legions. Where do you pledge your allegiance? Cause I was lonesome and my shortcomings won't share my achievements. Took them by surprise like a knife full of thieving. Yeah, seated like a paraplegic. Watching take flight like a pair of them sneakers. I say my little word, I probably should have been a preacher. Now within my distance, but I bet I still reach ya. Walk like a quack, like a knock 'em in their beaker. They didn't see my vision when I tried to give a peeker. Now I'm big chillin', hip recliner, kick my feet up. It was out in the kid, I prophesy like I'm a seer. The sound that'll go like an onomatopoeia. Flow crack like this, like my mind is a dealer. You itty bitty bitches wishing what I wanna be. Things change, but the facts over and over again. I'm the greatest each and every but the facts that the same. Road to riches, better fact is I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. Things change, but the facts over and over again. I'm the greatest each and every but the facts that the same. Road to riches, and the fact is I'm the greatest, they're the greatest. Things change, but the facts remain the same. Fact of the matter is you no longer in my range. If they left for the next, tell them it's a downgrade. They flip-flopping, crisscross, switching like waves. I'm hotter in the sun, they gon' miss this shade. Arsenal full of heat like number 3 D-Wade. It's really no debate, I eat up my competition wishing I could use another plate. Like that, probably imitate, but could never duplicate. Even when I'm gone, I just reincarnate. Early in the morning, tasting my name more than toothpaste. They change like seasons, you can let them marinate. But it ain't nothing to cut them off, I be so quick to amputate. Now they see me getting love, so they wanna celebrate. Wanna work things out, but I would not cooperate. My old circle non-existent at this rate. You know things change, but the facts over and over again. I'm the greatest each and every single day. But the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. Things change, but the facts over and over again. I'm the greatest each and every single day. But the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest. They're the greatest. Things change over and over again. But the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. Things change over and over again. But the facts they're the same. And the fact is, I'm the greatest. They're the greatest. RP on the beat. I'm a good girl with a little bad intentions. Good at being bad, cause I'm bad at intervention. Eyes wide shut, they can still spot the difference. The main reason why I keep my social distance. I'm a good girl, but my past a little checker. Judge me by my heart, I'm a bully if they tell it. Came a long way, God is my witness. Good girls only with a little bad intentions. Such a feeling just to live life, just to living every day, but I still ain't know what it feel like. And if I had to do it all again, just don't forget my pen, cause I know that I'm a
Peace, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Welcome back to another Step in the Ring debate. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me, I'm doing this on my phone due to tech issues I had last week that didn't improve at all with this week, so I'm now doing all this on my phone. So if you guys can hear me clearly, just put a 1 in the chat, just real quick, so I can continue. Just put a okay. I see Gemini. What up, Gemini? He's one of the OGs. He said the audio is good. All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome. So with this debate is being streamed on 2 platforms. It's being streamed on 2 platforms. It is streamed on the Be Accountable channel, and it is streamed on the Wrestling is Lit channel. So if you are a wrestling fan, if this is your first time coming to the Wrestling is Lit channel, go ahead and go out your way and subscribe. I'm definitely going to put out some more content in the next few upcoming days. I appreciate everyone for subscribing so far. We're now past 101 subscribers, so big ups to all y'all there. Now, so let's not waste any more time. Tonight, we are going to have the rematch with the Godfather D.Derell and Just Alyx. Tonight's debate will be about who is better, Shawn Michaels or Bret the Hitman Hart. A lot of people grew up with these 2 guys throughout the 90s. Bret Hart unfortunately had to retire early in the 2000s. Shawn Michaels retired, I believe, in 2010. Yeah, 2010 when he lost to The Undertaker. So it's been a long time since these guys have performed, so it's going to be very interesting to see how D.Derell and Just Alyx can make their case. Now, one of the things that people are going to ask is, who are the judges? Well, the 3 judges are big-time wrestling fans. They all keep up with the product. One of them is a returning judge, Duke CT. He judged in the last debate. And the other 2 judges are 2 guys that I've known for quite some time. They're very into the product, well, into the professional wrestling product here. And that's supposed to be a guy named Alyx. So, yeah, there you go. There's another guy named Alyx. And hold on. Damn, I just got a damn connection. But yeah, like it's supposed to be Alyx and oh my God. Like the other guy's name just fogged out on me. I don't know how the hell that happened. I'm sorry, Alyx. I'm very, very sorry. You and me was talking for the past few days on the other guy coming in. Hold on, I got it. This is oh yeah, Luke. Luke. Yes. Okay, so it's gonna be Duke CT, Alyx, and Luke. Alyx and Luke have a podcast out right now talking about Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So those 3 guys are going to be the judges. Those are going to be the 3 judges. I just saw Alyx put a 1 in the chat, so he's in there. So we are ready to go with the judges. Now, Alyx and D.Derell are currently backstage. And before we go any further, let's get to the tale of the tape.
In the paper, put my problems, paper, dial up the deputy, mad at my brown, problems in the paper, put my problems, paper, dial up the deputy, mad at my brown, problems in the paper, put my problems, paper, dial up the deputy, mad at my brown, problems in the paper, put my problems, paper, dial up the deputy, mad at my brown.
All right, so that's our tale of the tape. Now, we got about 70 people on both platforms. So if you guys want to support D.Derell via Cash App, it is $Derell77. If you guys want to support Just Alyx via Cash App, it is $ANH1990. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's first introduce the man who won the last debate. Coming in now with a 2-0 record in Step in the Ring history. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Godfather, D.Derell. What's going on, D?
Hey, brother, what's up, man? How you doing?
And chilling, man. I'm going about to get this debate started, man. You ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to bring in the man of the hour. A lot of the reason why you guys are here. He's making his return back. And As I said last time, I knowed him way back in the day as the Lex Man, but a lot of y'all now know him as just Alyx.
Log on complete. Welcome to Lex.
Yeah. I bury all you boys like the Undertaker. Come at me and you gon' let me make you Jamaican. You can't see me like John Cena. I'm a genetic freak like John Cena. My bad, Steiner. You supposed to stay underground like chili and minus me. I want big lights and pyrotechnics. So power flow. Young in the realness, I'm a zone cold killer. You can come to the man, boy. I be bossing. I'm on the edge like the rated R superstar. I'm a young lion like Cindy Roar. Workaholic, always handling my business. Like my name was the Miz. I'm the best ever. I know it's all for y'all to bear it. I'm the king that I'm out.
Yo, D, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. I clearly forgot my phone wasn't on the charger, but I'm about to bring Alyx in, though.
Okay.
Yo, what up, Alyx?
You guys feel that right there? That's anticipation for the rematch of the century. Just Alyx about to take on D.Derell in one of the biggest debates here on YouTube. I hope you're ready for that ass whooping, D.Derell. I'm about to bring it to you.
All right.
All right. So, so since there's no affirmative side or no, I guess, like, counter side, do any of y'all want to go first? Any volunteers?
I can go first just with the opening statements.
Go for it. You're up.
You're kind of lagging, D.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So since we'll have D.Derell go first, we will start off with our opening statement. All right, D, you got 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, BA, and I want to also thank just Alyx for taking out the time to get this ass whooping we about to get today on this particular topic. I think this is a very, very easy topic in regards to Bret Hart being a far superior worker than Shawn Michaels. What I'm going to let everybody know today, what I'm going to illustrate is the fact that when you look at a wrestler from the totality of what it takes to
be. D, hold on, D. D, hold on. The people in the chat, can you guys hear D's kind of organing a little bit? People in the chat, if you guys can hear D.Derell, put a 1 in the chat. You're kind of organing a little bit, D.
Can you hear? Am I better now, or?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to help everybody understand in totality of everything in every major category that it is to be a professional wrestler. I'm going to discuss how Bret Hart was a far superior wrestler. I'm going to talk about the fact that when you look at the fact that he's a second generation wrestler, He came from one of the best training grounds of being a wrestler. I'm going to talk about his duration as he was as far as his experience as a tag team wrestler. I'm going to talk about when he worked in his father's promotion, Stu Hart's promotion, how he excelled. I'm going to talk about how the fact that he not only was one of the best singles wrestlers, but he also was one of the greatest tag team wrestlers. I'm going to focus on the fact that when we look at Bret Hart as a babyface, not only being a better babyface, but I'm going to make the case for him also being one of the best heels that this industry has ever seen. And so I'm going to highlight those things. I'm going to talk about that because I want to preface to the crowd, let's not get focused on the theatrics, even though that is part of the show. You see, there's a difference between being the best wrestler than being the best sports entertainer. You see, as we kind of departmentalize the two, we will understand based on this debate. I'm going to highlight that the best wrestler was Bret Hart with the best career. Now, if you want to go into sports entertainment, then okay, you may say Shawn Michaels may have had that because he did all of the theatrical things and so forth. But when we come down to it, the best career, the best wrestler, the best worker, the best as far as being technically sound, and also when you look at it as far as how he was received from the guys in the back, it's without a doubt that Bret Hart was the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. I'm done.
You good, D?
I'm good.
All right. So before I get to just Alyx, I saw Muslim in the chat saying that D.Derell sound was good from the very beginning. So that may be on my end. So just to the chat, if it turns out if you guys can't hear D.Derell or Alyx, just communicate that through the chat. That way I won't interrupt anybody. So Alyx, you got 3 minutes.
I want you guys to be careful of my opponent here, who will use terms to kind of sway you in his opinion. Shawn Michaels was more than just a sports entertainer. He was a man of many names. The showstopper, the headliner, the main event, the icon, Mr. WrestleMania. But we all know him as Heartbreak Kid. Why was he called the Heartbreak Kid? For one reason and one reason only. He was able to make you feel something. When he felt pain, you felt pain. And no one in the business was able to do that better than him. When he sold agony, you felt it. When he showed heartache, when he sold triumph, no one did it better than Shawn Michaels. He was able to touch hearts of the millions worldwide. On top of that, the most athletic, most inspiring, most daring superstar of his time, raising the bar for the entire industry, one match at a time. He performed above and beyond in every arena, in every match, having 5-star classics. Today, I'm going to prove to you 3 points that Shawn Michaels had a bigger impact on the business than Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels was a better storyteller, not just a man that could execute moves, because that was Bret Hart. The excellence of execution, he made it look pretty. Shawn Michaels did more than that. Most importantly, Shawn Michaels was a better professional. Can't forget about that 1 point of professional wrestler. Shawn Michaels was always a better professional than Bret Hart. We have to remember, when it's all said and done, you will all remember Shawn Michaels more than Bret Hart. And my job here today is to prove that point. And by the end of this debate, you will all agree that Shawn Michaels was, and forever will be better than the hit man, Bret Hart. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was the opening statement. We're almost at 100 people through both platforms. So before we get to round one, again, guys, if you guys want to support D.Derell via Cash App, it is $Darrell77. If you guys want to support just Alyx via Cash App, it is $ANH1990. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get to round one. All right, D.Derell, you got 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, my opponent already made one mistake, equivalent to a botch, move per se. Brett, I mean, when it comes to Shawn Michaels, he was never the best professional wrestler or the best professional period. And I'm going to talk to you and give you examples of why he was a far less superior athlete than Bret Hart. Number one, it is well documented in the WWF, WWE that Shawn Michaels was injury prone. Also, Shawn Michaels had issues with drugs and alcohol. Shawn Michaels also got into bar fights, all things that had influenced his ability to work. Shawn Michaels was not easy to get along with in the back. Shawn Michaels, to me, to be honest with you, did a lot of things, particularly when he was with DX and so forth, even pre-DX, that to me was immature. And he was not always the easiest person to work with. When you talk about professionalism, Bret Hart, one of the most durable workers ever. He never hurt anybody. To me, is one of the most significant things. He never hurt anybody. He was the most durable. He was the most reliable. He was easy to work with, easy to follow instructions. Bret Hart did these things week in and week out consistently, whether he worked at his father's promotion, whether he worked in Vince's promotion. Shawn Michaels, on the other hand, was not necessarily a team player. Again, he had issues with drugs and alcohol. He lived a very erratic lifestyle and so forth. He was involved in a lot of little antics and scandals and so to speak. Shawn Michaels was nowhere near the professional that Bret Hart was. And also, case in point, when we talk about Bret Hart as a professional, let's look at the fact that Bret Hart was a better, and I'm going to do it in regards to sequential into what made him one of the greatest WWE champions. As a tag team wrestler, when you think about tag team wrestling, do you think of the Hart Foundation as being one of the best with him and the Anvil, or do you think about the Rockers? Let's really think about that. Whoever brings up the Rockers as being one of the best, in which Shawn Michaels was part of that team. Okay, they had many classic matches with a lot of great WWE tag teams and so forth. Then when we look at Bret Hart as the Intercontinental Champion, classic matches with Mr. Perfect, classic matches with the Ultimate Warrior, classic matches with the upper echelon of the WWE. When you think about Shawn Michaels, yeah, he had a few here and there touches and so forth. But when people think about Shawn Michaels, we don't necessarily, even though he was a great performer, but the fact that when people really think about Shawn Michaels, they think about his entrance to the ring more than the actual in-ring work. And without a doubt, Bret Hart was the better in-ring tactician. His in-ring work was far superior. It was far smoother. He was more technically sound. And last but not least, he never hurt anybody. Shawn Michaels can't say that. Shawn Michaels either hurt himself or he hurt somebody else. And that's just the fact. Shawn Michaels, we don't know if he was drugged up or whatever else, or boozed up. These were the issues that they had to deal with the heartbreak kid, Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart himself, when you think about him as a baby face, to me, Bret Hart was a better baby face. That to me, he stood for values and so forth. It was far more kid-friendly for a family show. It was something that as a parent, you would bring your kid to and say, you should want to look at that wrestler, the Hart, when we look at Bret Hart, you should want to be like Bret Hart. No one would look at Shawn Michaels coming up with pants and tights with hearts on the back of his ass, shaking and moving and gyrating around and putting a banana in his putting a banana in his in his tights and so forth, and doing all of
Time's
these
up,
extraordinary things. Okay.
All right, so let's get to Just Alex. You got 5 minutes.
D.Derell, I love that you brought up the Rockers as an example for Shawn Michaels in a tag team. You are right that I don't think about the Rockers when I think about Shawn Michaels. You know who I think about? I think about D-Generation X. I think about Triple H and Shawn Michaels. The tag team that set off an era. What was that era called again? Something about having an attitude. What was it? That's right, the Attitude Era. Now, let's get something straight. You want to talk about Shawn Michaels not being a professional? Sure. Talk about it all day, every day. He was very hard to work with. He had drug issues. You're right. But you know what you can't discredit Shawn Michaels about? Getting the job done, doing what he's told to do, going out there and putting people over when he's supposed to do it. Bret Hart didn't want to do that in 1997. Now, did he? A little incident called the Montreal Screwjob, which forced Vincent Kennedy McMahon to make a very hard decision. Because Bret Hart, since you say he's a professional, well, I'll drop the belt the very next night. I don't want to drop it to Shawn at Survivor. I'll drop it to anybody else. Shawn Michaels might have been pilled up around that time, but I don't see him having an issue dropping the belt to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I didn't see him having an issue dropping the belt whenever he needs to drop the belt. So let's get something straight. What makes a professional is not necessarily always having the best attitude, is doing what's necessary when it comes down to it. And when it's all said and done, you can say what you want about Bret Hart being clean and not hurting anybody. Shawn Michaels did what was necessary at the time. And in my personal opinion, no, not even personal opinion, it is a fact proven. Shawn Michaels loved wrestling more than Bret Hart did. He certainly did. Because when Shawn Michaels was on top, when he was the world champion, he was the man that stayed. When WCW was kicking the ass of WWF during the 90s, I didn't see Bret Hart go, you know what? I'm going to stand by. I'm going to stand here and fight. Nah, he went to WCW. You don't think Shawn Michaels could have gone to WCW? Nah, he decided to stay. He decided to help carry the load. Now, he did get hurt. Wasn't his fault. That's not necessarily anything he could control. But let's not pretend that Shawn Michaels was going to jump ship. He loved WWE, and he stuck by it. And one thing, too, that we need to understand is that Bret Hart can't talk about being the top guy like Shawn Michaels did. Now, Bret Hart was at one point on top. But Shawn Michaels has more of a load to carry. Bret Hart wasn't on top when WCW was kicking WWE's behind. Shawn Michaels was. He was the one selling out the arenas. He was the one having the classics. He was the one that stuck by WWE, not Bret Hart. So the fact remains that Shawn Michaels is the more professional. And the thing about that is, when it's all said and done, who are people going to remember more in terms of the impact of the Attitude Era? It's not going to be Bret Hart, sadly. Yeah, he had a nice little stunt in the Hart Foundation when he turned heel. That was good. That was nice. That was cute. But I'm sorry, I don't think he'll have as much of an impact on the business as D-Generation X. I don't see people mentioning the Hart Foundation when comparing WWE to the NWO. When they say NWO, what's the first table that comes to mind? D-Generation X. That broke a lot of ceilings for what they did. So check the handles. Check your history, D.Derell. Because to me, the real professional here is Shawn Michaels. Thank you.
Woo, man! What a first round, man! I see y'all in the chat on both platforms. I see y'all in the chat. You know, like y'all in the chat. Like, damn, like this one's tough. This one's kind of tough so far. And this is only the first round. We got 2 more rounds left. Then we got a closing statement. But before we get to the second round, again, guys, if you guys want to support D.Derell via Cash App, it is $Darrell77. If you guys want to support just Alex on Cash App, it is $ANH1990. Let's get to the second round, y'all. All right, D.Derell, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, here we go again, round two. So my brother, just Alyx, fell in the trap again. Now, if Chad, if you were listening, he just talked about how professional Shawn Michaels was, but he admitted to everything that Shawn Michaels did that was unprofessional. Does that make sense? Wait a minute, that sounds a little bit illogical, don't you think? You just admitted that he got hurt. You admitted that he was on drugs and alcohol. You admitted that he did all of these negative things, but then at the end of the day, you're going to equate that to he was more professional. But you didn't mention anything that Bret Hart did that was unprofessional. What you did was mention the fact that Shawn Michaels had better storylines and so forth. That doesn't make any sense. Number two, another correction for round two. Let's make this note. D-Generation X did not start the Attitude Era. Vince McMahon started the Attitude Era, which was based on the Montreal Screwjob, for the fact of the matter in which the outcome was not as what it was supposed to be. And Vince McMahon became the character Mr. McMahon. And from that point on, that's when the Attitude Era came, because Vince McMahon began as a character, which involved the fact that Bret Hart was screwed over. Yes, Bret Hart did want to, by the way, go in line with what was written in his contract. It's not about what was done for the business. If his contract didn't say he was supposed to leave out for the champion, then I would understand what you were saying. However, Mr. Alyx, the contract stated that he had the right to choose how he was going to leave, and if he wanted to leave on top, that's what his contract stated. So the Attitude Era did not start with D-Generation X. The Attitude Era started with the Montreal Screwjob. Now, to make that correction. Now, as we look at Bret Hart's career, we want to understand that as far as what DX did, as far as their storylines. But let's not forget that if it wouldn't not have been for Bret Hart putting over Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was probably in the top 2 or 3 greatest wrestlers and entertainers and draws of all time, WWE may not even be here. They probably would have lost the Monday Night War. It was Bret Hart who made Stone Cold, who was getting around on crutches and so forth, look better than what he really was as an athlete and as a worker. It was Bret Hart who had an ongoing rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin, coupled with the Hart Foundation, that people wanted to watch it. So when you talk about D-Generation X, yes, again, we're talking about sports entertainment. But when we're talking about the in-ring action, the storyline, the professional, the Hart Foundation that represented the same fundamental values and so forth, because everybody in the Hart Foundation seemed like an extension of Bret Hart because they stood for, represented, and had similar characters per se. That was wrestling. That was professional wrestling. And as a difference, as I beg upon the people listening, this is about who was the best wrestler, not the best sports entertainer. If you want to say the best sports entertainer, okay, I'll give that to Shawn Michaels. If you want to shake your ass and dance to the music and act like a stripper and do all those different things for the ladies in your hair, flashing back and forth and all the other goofy stuff and want to be a sex object, okay, he can take that. But when it comes to the wrestling, now I'm not slighting Shawn Michaels because Shawn Michaels was a great performer. He was also a great performer that constantly got hurt. He was not as reliable. He was hard to work with. And to me, I'm looking at the totality of what it takes to be a wrestler, not just the in-ring product and the in-ring product and as far as everything that encompasses the character. Bret Hart represented that. He epitomized what it takes to be a professional. Okay? Let's never forget that. Okay? One of our greatest announcers, Jim Ross, even stated, when they chose Bret Hart, they looked at the fact that to be champion, they looked at the fact that Bret Hart was easy to work with. Bret Hart was dependable. Bret Hart never hurt anybody. They didn't want bigger, less skilled wrestlers hurting people. And that's why they start making the switch from the bigger wrestlers to more skilled, smaller wrestlers per se in the early mid-90s.
All right, so let's go to Just Alex, bro. You got your rebuttal. You got 5 minutes.
You know, we can sit here all day and talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin because I thought we were talking about Shawn Michaels. I love Stone Cold. I thought he was great. You know, we can also continue to talk about Shawn Michaels dancing like a stripper, which apparently he might have to talk about that with somebody. I feel like you holding a grudge there. You know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about Shawn Michaels having a bigger impact on the business, which I don't seem to hear him talking about Bret Hart really doing anything. All I hear about was Shawn Michaels was booked to be good. What? You know what? You can say that. You can say that he was booked to give birth to many firsts. He was booked to give birth to the first ladder match at WrestleMania 10. How about the first Hell in a Cell match in 1997, where Kane debuted, one of the greatest debuts of all time? He was booked to be the first guy to win the Rumble from spot number 1. The first ever Grand Slam champion, World Heavyweight champ, Intercontinental, European tag. Yeah, he was booked to do all this other stuff. But let me tell you something. There's a reason why he was booked that way. There was a reason why that Bret Hart wasn't given that spot and Shawn Michaels was. Because Shawn Michaels was shattering glass ceilings during an era where a man his size, he wasn't the Hulk Hogan brother. 7 foot tall, 6 feet, 300-pound man. He was average, like me. And he was doing things that he should not be doing. I'm talking about 25 years of main eventing WrestleManias, winning championships, having classics, all the way up to his retirement. Now you tell me, D.Derell, how many main events Bret Hart has had? You're going to have to answer me that in your rebuttal. Okay? Because Shawn Michaels has had plenty of main events during his first run and, of course, his second run. Most noteworthy is one with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which you apparently love talking about. I love talking about Stone Cold as well. Now, I know Bret Hart's career got cut short, and that is unfortunate. So he couldn't necessarily have a second run like Shawn Michaels. Be that as it may, Shawn Michaels was able to do a lot more because of his longevity in the business. He had a longer run than Bret Hart did. 5 WrestleMania main events to Bret Hart's 2. Countless matches of the years, including one with Kurt Angle and one with Undertaker, my personal favorite, WrestleMania 25. And you look at all the wrestlers who look up to people, the legends in the business. The one person that me look up to, Shawn Michaels. Who do you know does the sharpshooter? Probably 1 or 2 or 3 people. Okay. Who do you know does the super kick? Oh my goodness. Young Bucks, Kevin Owens, Pac, take the entire WWE roster. Realize it and understand. Shawn Michaels had a bigger impact. Even right now, he's having an impact. Leading NXT, continuing to build the new generation. What the hell is Bret Hart doing? Watching matches on YouTube, giving out 4 out of 10s, 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10. History may remember Bret Hart as a great technician, but when it comes to who's had more influence, who had a bigger impact, it's clear the Heartbreak Kid was, was, and forever will be the superior man. Take that to the bank. Thank you.
Woo! Y'all, man, like if I'm able to start a fight forever chant in this live, I would. And this debate is something else. Very something else. And the numbers keep growing on both platforms. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. So we're about to get into the 3rd round. But before we do, y'all, we got D.Derell, we got Just Alex taking time out of their night to entertain y'all, put on this great debate. We're about to get to round 3. So again, guys, if y'all not hit up that Cash App, y'all are tripping. So if you guys want to support D.Derell via Cash App, it is $Darrell77. If you guys want to support Just Alyx via Cash App, it is $ANH1990. Let's get to the third round. All right, D, you got 5 minutes.
Oh wow! So my brother fell into the third trap, and let me take it on home with this one because I wanted to talk about the resume of Bret Hart compared to HBK, and let's look at it like this: Bret Hart, two-time WCW champion. Shawn Michaels never was the WCW champion. Okay, and by the way, Shawn Michaels did want to go to WCW. Vince convinced him not to because he wanted to be with his, the Wolf Pack or whatever you wanted to click and so forth. But Vince luckily convinced him not to. So it's not like Shawn Michaels didn't want to go down south because he actually did. And Vince told him, if you go there and they don't know what to do with it, they'll misuse it. And thus he chose to stay. So I just wanted to make that correction. Number two, five-time WWE champion, which was Bret Hart, in the words of my brother Booker T. He was the 5-time WCW champion. Shawn Michaels only was WWE champion 4 times, by the way. Also, you have to look at the fact that as a tag team wrestler, the Hart Foundation won the tag team champions multiple times. Now, how many times did the Rockers win? Okay? And by the way, Shawn Michaels was in other wrestling organizations, and they were not that good as the Rockers. Bret Hart wrestled and showed loyalty. It is the loyalty that caused the Montreal Screwjob, the loyalty to Vince McMahon, the loyalty of signing a 20-year contract that Vince McMahon went back on his word on. Okay, it's the loyalty that he had. Okay, so he had more championships, he had more Intercontinental, he had more belts. Period. So we want to talk about who main evented this and that. Are you serious? You want to talk about the fact that he won the WWF Triple Crown? He was the second person to do that. You want to talk about the fact that he headed the Royal Rumbles and so forth? You want to talk about the fact that he was king of the ring twice? Are you serious? Are you really serious? And this headline, again, we cannot. The fact that if it was not for the rivalry of Bret Hart against Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWE would have not maintained their ratings in the Monday Night War. That, to me, was one of the most defining rivalries and storylines, even though they were losing in the ratings at the time. That would put Stone Cold on to go on to do what he was doing. We're not talking about Stone Cold. We're talking about it that they needed a wrestler like Bret Hart to put Stone Cold over. And to me, we cannot ignore that. We cannot ignore the accomplishments and so forth. We cannot ignore the fact that when we look at Bret Hart, again, week in, week out, he'd take those days off like Shawn Michaels was doing for whatever reasons. He basically was on TV on Sunday. He was more reliable to be on those Monday night shows and so forth. He didn't take weeks off because he got beat up in a bar and so forth. Bret Hart is overall more decorated as far as championships. Now, Bret Hart had classic wrestling matches. Bret Hart again wrestled, even though his wrestling career was cut short. Even when he went to WCW, he still wrestled in some decent matches. Okay, now it wasn't to the level of what was going on in when he was in WWE, but he still maintained with bad booking. That was with bad booking. Shawn Michaels needed to be booked. Okay. Shawn Michaels just overall was not a dependable wrestler. His talent forced them to oversee all the other antics that came along with it. And the fact of the matter, if anybody would look at the career of Shawn Michaels and HBK, they would say they would rather have a Bret Hart. They would rather have a Bret Hart. Bret Hart, even though Shawn Michaels may have drew a little better, when you look at it as a family show, as far as kids, families wanting their kids to see a wrestler that they wanted to represent, they looked at Bret Hart. They did not look at Shawn Michaels and the attitude antics and the degeneration antics that he provided. Yes, it was.
Time's up, Pete.
Okay.
All right, Alyx, you got 5 minutes.
I feel like I'm Shawn Michaels looking across the ring at Ric Flair, and I just looked at D.Derell and said, "I'm sorry, I love ya." Boom! Because this is the second super kick to you, D.Derell. I want to thank you for mentioning that Shawn Michaels was a better draw than Bret Hart. It makes me feel really good. Thanks for that. But that's not what my second point is all about. I want to introduce a certain line of thinking from a genius, a mad genius in wrestling. His name is Paul Heyman, who once laid out criteria for how to create the perfect wrestler. Who are these people? Why are they fighting? Why should I care? We know who Shawn Michaels is. We know who Bret Hart is. We know why they fight. But why should we care? Out of the two, let me tell you something. No one showed you the ability to make people care than Shawn Michaels, because we can talk about hitting great moves, because that's what Bret Hart was good at. He was good at making the moves look pretty. He made it look really good. You need to be able to connect with the audience and know how to put butts in the seats. Being a good wrestler isn't just knowing how to execute moves. It's knowing when. The formula that many have taken and become legends off of. Bret, better technical wrestler. Shawn was the better all-around performer and storyteller. Ooh, there's that word, storyteller. Because Shawn Michaels was devoted to bumping and selling. He wasn't just devoted to making the moves look pretty. He was devoted to making his opponents look pretty. He was devoted to making everybody invested into his matches. Okay? It was all about the selling. You could just ask certain wrestlers like Mr. Perfect how important selling is. Nobody could bounce around like Shawn Michaels did, though. He was good enough at selling to take away the babyface heat from Diesel and got himself over. What was that? WrestleMania 11? What was it again? Might have to refresh my memory on that one. But most importantly, and this is the super kick to the face, and I love that we haven't talked about this. You can say what you want about Shawn Michaels being the inferior wrestler, but you know what he was superior at? A little thing called the microphone. Shawn Michaels' promo work was infinitely better than Bret Hart. Bret Hart had a good run while he was in the Hart Foundation, 1997. I remember it was all right. It was all right. It's all right. But a year, really, compared to 20 years of good promo work, creating legendary phrases like, and y'all can help me out here. How did it go again? It was certain 2 words. I got 2 words for you. The live chat just finished it for me. Certain phrases like, I'm going to give you a show that you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. Certain phrases like, Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, the headliner, the main event, the icon. Because you see, D.Derell, when it's all said and done, there's only 2 things that matter in wrestling. That's the money and the miles. Shawn Michaels had more miles, and he definitely drew a lot more money than Bret Hart. And most importantly, he was certainly more charismatic. His charisma shows in everything that he does. And that's why he is more known to the world than Bret Hart, whether you like it or you don't. He's the best thing going, was going, and forever will be going. I'll take my bow. I'm sorry. I love ya. Boom! 1, 2, 3. I'm out.
Ooh, man. So those were the 3 rounds. We're about to get to our closing statement. Y'all, man, the chat is so lit. It is so fucking lit in the chat, man. Y'all are something else, man. Y'all crazy in that chat. But we're still going strong. Over 100 people still across both platforms on Be Accountable and Wrestling is Lit. And before I get to the closing statement, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Wrestling is Lit. Going to put out some more content in the next upcoming days. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. Also want to thank D.Derell and Just Alyx for coming in as usual. And before I get to the closing statement, y'all, one more time, if you guys want to support D.Derell via Cash App, it is $Darrell77. If you guys want to support Just Alyx via Cash App, it is $ANH1990. So let's get to our closing statement. If I can find the brand name. There we go. All right, D.Derell, you got 3 minutes.
Okay, guys. So the case was made. I've spoken to my opponent. He talked to be honest with you, as he talked about Shawn Michaels, he talked more about all the things that he did wrong, just as much as he talked about the things that he supposedly did right. Notice, as I talked about Bret Hart, there were less things that were to me in the negative. And my opponent also failed to talk about his shortcomings and his weaknesses. We didn't hear a lot about Bret Hart's weaknesses, glaring weaknesses. Bret Hart didn't do this or do that. We heard more from my end and also from my opponent. So my opponent basically just validated everything that I stated for 3 rounds. But he just wanted to add in the fact that he was a better sports entertainer. You see, he talked more about being charismatic, a showstopper. He drew more, which does matter, and so forth. But he's talked about it more from the entertainment. Now, if he wants to talk about as far as telling the better story, I'm sorry, guys. No story. There are 2 things that Bret Hart did to me that far succeeded. When anybody thinks about the history of wrestling in the 90s and the Monday Night Wars, there are more people that are going to get more emotional about the Montreal Screwjob as far as DX fighting against the Nation or DX fighting against whomever in the WWE. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. There are more people that are going to talk about the Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart rivalry than HBK fighting against the Undertaker. Okay, I'm just sorry. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. Now, you look at it overall, Bret Hart, to me, yes, he may have not had the best mic skills, but they were adequate. They were good enough, depending on the situation. Bret Hart was not necessarily the best sports entertainer, but I'm talking about in-ring product, in-ring, entertainment, the in-ring, as far as the nuances of wrestling itself and what it takes to be a wrestler. There are 4 more young wrestlers that are willing to look at the fact that Bret Hart ideally is what I would like to emulate, as opposed to me attempting to emulate the lifestyle, the rugged lifestyle, and the rugged character of Shawn Michaels himself. That's just facts. And to me, that's the way it's not just perceived by me and him and so forth. This is something that other wrestlers during that time would even say. This is something that people like Jim Ross would say. This is something that Jerry the King Lawler would say. And last but not least, McMahon would say.
Thumbs up, D. Okay. All right, Alyx, you got 3 minutes.
In closing, you can all love Bret Hart. You can admire him for what he's done for wrestling. You can call him whatever you want. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. You can call him the excellence of execution, call him a Canadian hero, even call him a legend. But to call him superior to Shawn Michaels would be to ignore 25 years of dedication and impact on this sport. And to me, that is a slap in the face. When it comes to this debate, anyone with a brain, knowledge for wrestling will have to admit that Shawn Michaels' name is more synonymous with professional wrestling than Bret Hart. And I've already laid it out to you. I already told you he was a better storyteller. I already told you that he was a better draw. Well, I didn't tell you that. D.Derell told you that. He even did me the favor of emphasizing that point. I already emphasized how much of a bigger impact he had, and I already told you he was a better professional. I laid it out for you. I've already told you he was involved in some of the greatest matches of all time, which is something my opponent never did. I didn't hear him one time say Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. One of my favorite matches of all time, bruh. I gave you Taker. I gave you Kurt. I could have given you Triple H at SummerSlam. I could have given you the Survivor Series in 2003. I could have given you Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in 1996. I gave you the ladder match. I could have gone on forever giving you classics. You couldn't do that because you don't have the ability to do it. Not because you're not a good debater. It's just you didn't have the ammunition because Bret Hart didn't give it to you. Because Shawn Michaels is a superior man. Yeah, he's had his ups and downs. But throughout this ups and downs, because we as humans have up and downs, Michaels found a way to better himself, work harder, and carve a path for many to follow. Many people like Kenny Omega, many people like the Young Bucks, many people like Sami Zayn, like Kevin Owens. We can just look at the roster, how many people were influenced by Shawn Michaels. If you've ever seen him perform, you know there's very few things that are more riveting than watching an HBK match, because no one else can do what he did. Why? Because he could. There will be many, many, many more Bret Harts, but there's only one Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that is the end of this debate. So I've seen a lot of great stuff throughout my life. I saw Masawa Kawada. I saw Masawa Kobashi. I've seen Manami Toyota and Aja Kong. I've seen Kenny Omega and Okada. And pretty much all those things broke the Meltzer scale to me. This debate goes into that category. I thought this debate was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Again, big shout out to D.Derell and Just Alyx, just bringing the heat throughout the whole entire debate. The chat was lit throughout here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the judges. And since I'm on the phone doing StreamYard, I'm kind of afraid that, you know, it may get a little bit funky the way I have been doing it. I usually put D.Derell and Just Alyx backstage and I bring the judges in. But I'm going to leave Alyx and D.Derell on the panel. And what I'm about to do is I'm about to go ahead and drop the link for Duke CT, Alyx, and Luke. So as far as Duke CT, you know, he pretty much knows how to do this by now. But as far as Alyx and Luke, if you guys are still in the chat, I'm about to post the link and I'm about to put y'all names down. So for anyone else, please make it be known that this link is only for, if I can find the fucking link, is only for Alyx and Luke. Trying to drop the link down. Still trying to get used to doing this shit on my phone. Hold on, guys. Try to post the link down. Why can't I post the link? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back. Hold on. Let me go ahead and I'm trying to copy this shit. Copy. But for some reason, it's not pasted into the chat. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get used to doing this shit on my phone. Like, this shit's a whole lot easier doing it on my laptop.
The phone is harder to do.
This is all. Yeah, doing it on my phone, man. I ain't used to doing this shit on my phone, but I ain't had no choice. Because I copied the link. I copied the link down, and I'm trying to paste it, but it's not letting me paste it. But I was able to do it earlier to get y'all on. Hold on, let me try this again. Hold on, copy. Bear with me, y'all. Hold on, I'm trying to get this over with. Let's Because I was not planning on doing this shit on my phone. Why in the world can't I put this on my phone? Hold on. Copy. Okay. So let me try this. Because I don't know why this thing's not pasting to my hold on, let's try this one more time. Why is this thing not pasting? What you mean Muslim by backstage? Not sure what Muslim means by backstage. Oh, let me try this. Hold on, guys. I'm about to go on my laptop.
Okay.
See if I can get in. I'm about to get on my laptop. Like, it's real crappy on the Wi-Fi on my laptop, but I'm about to go ahead and try to see if I can paste this link real quick, just so Alyx and Luke can get it. So, about to get this. If y'all hear feedback, I'm on my laptop. Let's try this. All right. So this link is only for Alyx and Luke. There should be the link. Okay, I see Duke CT backstage. I'm just waiting on Alyx and Luke to hit the link. But in the meantime, y'all, I'm about to go ahead and play something for y'all as we wait on Alyx and Luke. I'm never doing StreamYard on my phone again. I know that much.
Yeah, it's not the same experience.
Hell no, man. This shit right here, boy, man. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, when I was on my laptop, man, it was so much easier. So much easier. But I'm still waiting on Luke and Alyx. If it turns out if they don't come probably in the next 2 minutes or so, we may have to just go to the chat to see who won. Just real quick, but let me play some music for y'all as we wait on Luke and Alyx.
Be accountable. Propane. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Welcome to step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. People tell me what you think. Who won the debate? Who won the debate? Who won the debate? Who won the debate? When you step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Welcome to step into the ring. Who won the debate? Who won the debate? Who won the debate? Who won the debate? You can step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Who won the debate? 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 Who won the debate?
All right, guys. So I got 3 guys backstage. They're going to be the judges for this debate. And for those y'all who are not aware, I've known these guys for a very long time, like I've known Alyx a long time in the pro wrestling community. So it's very great to meet up with these guys, catch up with these guys. So want to first bring in a man. He was part of the first debate last time. A day one type of dude. Let me show y'all Duke CT. Yo, what up, man? What up, bro?
Relaxing, just listening to this debate, man. Just, whoo, man, that was fun.
Yeah,
man, I can't wait.
I feel you, man. So I'm about to. Right. So I'm about to bring in two guys. They're in the same location. So in case you guys are confused, that's why. But these two guys I've known for probably over a decade now. I've known these guys a lot. You know, they're very entertaining with their podcast. They used to do YouTube videos back in the day. I've been catching up with them on Twitter. One guy in particular knows me personally via Facebook. So I'm very happy to have these guys on here. It's been a very long time since I talked to them. So without further ado, guys, let me introduce y'all to Mr. Alyx and Luke. Yo, what up,
Hey,
y'all?
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on,
bro?
All right, well, this is your good pal.
What's up?
What's my name? Oh, Luke, that's right. And I'm here with the Sultan of Storytelling, the historian of Hardway, Mr. Alyx Khalil, and we are the host of On Top of Old Smoky, presented by Spot Monkey Productions. And Alyx, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Vic, you really popped us by not knowing Luke's name in the intro. That made us laugh for sure. But
yeah,
we're
man,
happy to be here, man.
Yeah, man. I pretty much just had a brain fart, you know, because at first I was going to say Andy. And I was like, wait a minute, like I know that's not his name. Yeah, man. Then so I just brain the fuck out. But then I realized what it was though. But let's start with Duke CT. You know, who you thought won and why?
Honestly, this was a clean sweep for the lax man, just Alyx. He proved every single point. And this is someone who I love technical wrestling. And Bret Hart is one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. But when he was champion, he did not bring in the money. He did not bring in the people there. There's a lot of factors into it. But, to be fair, Shawn Michaels, you know, he was the one thing I think Bret Hart, even his best times, wasn't. He was consistent. Shawn Michaels, where you hate him or love him, he was the most consistent performer, the most talked about, the person that was most talked about during the, the whole Attitude Era. When he was there, when he wasn't there. Heck, and his on-screen role as the general manager or commissioner of the WWE. He was still a part of the stuff. And then when he came back, he probably had one of the best runs into it. I mean, seriously, he was one of the best things in WWE when he came back. Even if the show was terrible, which in some cases it was, Shawn Michaels was always the bright spot. And Bret, even in his prime, sometimes he wasn't really, a part of like the best part of the show. I mean, he was stuck with some really bad feuds. I mean, he had to deal with Isaac Yankem. He had to deal with, all this other stuff. It didn't help him out. But at the end of the day, though, Shawn Michaels was the most consistent and probably the best, booked and best, history-making performer, as the Lax Man pretty much pointed out. So, yeah, he did. It was a clean sweep. The Lax Man wins, and looks like D.Derell just took it out tonight.
All right, so let's go to Alyx first. Alyx, who you thought won and why?
Well, Vic, I came into this already having my mind made up on who I thought would be the better wrestler, but I kept an open mind. And Darrell came out great when he mentioned right from the get-go that Bret was the better professional wrestler versus a sports entertainer. And he made some great points. But the problem is he didn't make enough of them. He didn't mention some of the classics that Bret had. He didn't mention how even in WCW with their terrible booking, Bret overcame a lot of that to be amazing and a highlight there. While the other Alyx, or just Alyx, he listed off classics matches after classic matches with Shawn. Darrell, you gave him an opening by saying that Shawn was a better draw. You gave him the ammunition, my man. It was no contest. Alyx had list after list, accomplishment after accomplishment for why Shawn was better. He knocked it out of the park. Darrell started great, but he just kept rambling, man. You lost your thought. You got lost in the woods, it seemed like. You didn't have enough examples of why Bret was a better wrestler. He was the professional wrestler, but you didn't mention those things, man. In Alyx, you mentioned it best about Shawn being the first man in the ladder match, the first man in the Iron Man match, the Elimination Chamber, the Hell in a Cell. Shawn was the guy you went to have those classic matches right at the gate, and he is the greatest performer of all time, I think. And he did have all those classics with Kurt and Undertaker. It was no question, man. Alyx, you brought it home, and you proved that Shawn Michaels is the better man.
Man, like I was telling y'all earlier that this dude Alyx, man, he a pro wrestling fan. So let's go ahead and go to Luke. Who you thought won and why?
All right, guys. Well, honestly, I also tried to set aside my bias, and looking at it, I think that round one I would give to Darrell. I'd say that Bret is definitely more professional. I think that there's really no question about he's the safe guy. You know, he backstage, he's more professional and all that. So I definitely think that if we were talking about who's the most professional wrestler, I would go with Bret. I think that Darrell kind of lost it in rounds 2 and 3. I feel like you got kind of dragged into Alex's bait a couple times. I did it like that you were saying who is the better professional wrestler, but I feel like Alyx never took the bait on that. So the debate really never was who's the better wrestler. It was just who's better. And I feel like Alyx, like my Alyx here said, I think that Alyx nailed on those classic moments, the first. And I really feel like when it comes to Bret, you left a few things out, Darrell, that might have carried you to the win, which would have been things that like carrying the WWF on its back through the new gen era, classic matches. Some of the matches they drag like terrible wrestlers to great performances, you know? And I feel like mentioning how Shawn Michaels had the match with Nash and he basically sabotaged the thing. And one more thing is you the fuck out. So sadly, I love Bret, but I'm gonna have to give this one to Alyx as well.
All right, guys. So that's official. Alyx is the winner, and unfortunately for D.Derell, he got 3-0'd. And for those y'all who are new to these debates, when somebody gets 3-0'd, I gotta call the Undertaker. So hold on, guys. I gotta call the Undertaker. I gotta call the Undertaker on you, D. So hold on, y'all. So as D.Derell's casket is getting buried in dirt, I'm gonna go to Duke CT real quick. Alyx and Luke have plugged their stuff, and again, guys, go ahead and check out their podcast. Duke CT, is there anything that you want to plug?
Oh yes, I'm doing my podcast this week on the Duke CT Lounge. I'll be talking about it's gonna be a nice little pre-show for talking about AEW's Grand Slam, which I will be attending. And talk about the card and how just seeing how the growth of AEW and how it's just pretty much just completely not only keeping in step with WWE, but in some cases in these ticket sales, we're going a bit further. But I'm going to get more into that on my podcast this Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, it's during the Monday Night Raw, and I don't give a damn.
Right. All right. So, Luke, Alyx, and Duke CT, y'all job here is done. I appreciate y'all for coming in. Now, if it turns out if y'all want to stay on the panel for anything else, you can. But if not, if you guys want to leave, you guys can leave. And as far as everybody here on the panel, again, I am on my phone, so I'm afraid to go to my Cash App and compensate y'all while I'm doing this live on my phone. But I'll definitely do it once the live is done, just so in case I don't have nothing screw up like it has been throughout the stream, though. But,
no problem. No worries.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just, before I got, in fact, I'm like in 10 minutes, I'm going to do my own little stream. So I got to head out. It's nice talking to you. And by the way, I got to listen to your guys' podcast, Alyx and Luke. Drop me a link somewhere so I can listen to your podcast and everything. So I want to check y'all out. So, just because I want to do more, listen to more, and support all this us because YWC because we got, man. So yeah, because I'm gonna head out right now. So nice talking to all of y'all. Congrats to Deluxe Man and D.Derell. Sorry I helped you take that L, but you know what, man, I love your energy and I like your debate style. So thanks for letting me be a judge, and I'll see y'all later. All right.
All right, Duke. So,
peace.
All right, bro. So let's go ahead and start with the winner, Just Alyx, aka Deluxe Man. Man, you came back, man. How you feel?
In all seriousness, I had a lot of fun. Believe it or not, I've been shaking the entire time. I tried to keep my hand down here so D.Derell didn't see the blood in the water. Would have gone right after it. It feels, it just feels good to be talking about wrestling, period. You don't get this a lot. I think I said this in the last broadcast. This didn't matter whether I won or lost. I just love talking about wrestling. I hope you got that energy from me. And so I had a great time. Sorry I had to end your Goldberg streak there, D.Derell. But tell you what, I'm seeing it in the live chat. People are saying they want a rubber match. They want to go one more. So how about round 3 in the future? What do you think?
I'm open to it.
And I'll let you decide the topic this time.
Okay.
I'm cool with letting the other party doing that. But yeah, just to answer your question, man, feels good. Feels good to be champ. Nah, it just feels good to talk about wrestling. And I had a good time.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. But D.Derell, man, yo, man, damn, bro, man. Like I had to call the Undertaker on you, bro. What happened?
Right. Hey, I think that I'm gonna say this. I do think that I thought I had the first round, but I mean, the second and third round, I do think that I was kind of nervous about it per se. But hey, that's what they felt. I respect the judges and so forth. I think I did a pretty good job. I could have done better. I didn't realize to the third round that I could have. I kind of agreed that I should have listed some of his great matches that he had. That I kind of went into the. I may have focused a little bit too much on the Montreal screw drive and the match with Stone Cold, and I could have mentioned some of his because he had classic matches with the British Bulldog for the Intercontinental Champion. I could have brought that up.
Yeah.
There's some other matches I should have highlighted. So that was my mistake. I think that was my biggest. I could have mentioned some of those matches. Even to be honest with you, I could have actually mentioned some of the head-to-head matches he had with Shawn Michaels. So. But that was my mistake on that point, But hey, I think overall, I did a decent job. I think it was competitive. Just he was real versed on this go around. So hey, I did. It is what it is. So we can do it again for the third time, round 3.
Right, man. I like it. But just like the last two times, you know, just hit me up and we'll set a date and we'll go from there. Guys, I just put the link down for Alyx and Luke's podcast down there, so go ahead and check that out. It's very entertaining. I listened to their very first one. Very great chemistry, very, very detailed about the first ever episode of Smoky Mountain. They gave great backgrounds to what Smoky Mountain was, especially with Jim Cornette before he got all crazy. Well, he probably was always crazy, but yeah, man, like I left that link down. But speaking of links, I'm about to go ahead and drop the link for anybody else that wants to come up, have their thoughts about the debate or anything coming up with wrestling. I mean, like, this upcoming week is going to be very crazy, very crazy. And I pretty much didn't know this until last night, but I just found out that Raw was coming to my city this Monday. I had no idea they were coming.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Hell no. Like, I had not. Nah, like, cause I was looking on Twitter and I saw that they was gonna do that hot shot and bullshit like they have been doing with goddamn the Bloodline and the New Day. I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. And then it said Raleigh. I was like, oh damn, they coming over here. I was like, huh, that's interesting. But is the link down there? Hell no, man. It's talking about internet connection on my laptop. See, man, like I can't drop the link on my phone, and when I try to do it on my laptop, it's now gonna say internet connection. Jobbing like a motherfucker. This internet jobbing. I don't know what the hell going on. This shit been happening ever since last week. Oh, let me try again.
That sucks. I do wonder why they hot-shotted that 6-man tag. To me, that's a Survivor Series main event that you saved for a pay-per-view. It's interesting that they failed that week.
As far as them hot shotting, that's simple because AEW beat them in the demo.
Yeah.
ALV, we appreciate you having on, but we actually got to take off. Thank you so much for giving us a chance to be on here, though, man. We had a great time.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Thanks so much again.
Yeah, man. See you.
All right, no doubt. But yeah, that's pretty much why, because AEW beat them in the demo, and you know they just like holy shit. But again, like that goes back to what I've been telling people. I was like, look, like y'all can't pay so much attention to the damn viewership. Y'all gotta pay attention to that demo because that's what the advertisers and the networks really look at. That 18 to 49 demo ain't no joke. And then like AEW beat them twice. They beat them twice, and this upcoming week is gonna be a slaughter. Yeah. Hell yeah, it's gonna be a slaughter because that Grand Slam show next week with Kenny Omega and Danielson and shit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good show.
Hell yeah, like it's a wrap next week. It's gonna be a wrap.
So they got that, and then they got football too to worry about. Oh no, they're about to get their butts handed to them. I think I don't want to give a number for the rating for Wednesday, but I'm gonna assume it's got to be pretty. It's gonna be up there because you got to assume because they're in the stadium. Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. That's not a match that people are gonna skip. People are gonna tune in for that. So it's got to be like I would hate to see it not get at least a 1.4, which is what they got on their debut, right? Was that their debut rating? 1.4?
Yeah.
1.8. No, it was a 1.4.
Yeah, like, I think it was a 1.4 for their debut because yeah, man, but shit.
I'm pretty sure they're going to top that. If not match it, they'll probably top that. You know what I mean?
The big question I got though is I'm kind of curious how that Rampage rating gonna be because like that junk 2 hours and that's a pay-per-view card in itself too. So I'm kind of like, damn, like I wonder how that Rampage one gonna be. Like, is the demo gonna beat the Raw one? Shit,
I don't know.
Bruh, if it turns out that Rampage from 10 p.m. to midnight, if them motherfuckers beat Raw in the fucking demo, I'm gonna laugh my ass off on a Friday night. On a Friday night. Oh,
Friday
hell
night,
no.
they're gonna be staying up to watch it because they have to. They got CM Punk and the Adam Cole. Man, they loaded both of these shows up. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting week to see how AEW competes in terms of the demos and all that. I just feel like, me personally, WWE has been getting very lazy, and I think it's because I can't prove this. I talked to people behind scenes, but I've been hearing rumors that The Rock's schedule has opened up from Survivor Series to WrestleMania. So I think they're just confident that Rock is going to come in and fix everything, which is typical WWE. You know, they rely too heavily on the legends.
Because people want to see a younger product. They want to see a younger product. You know, The Rock may get a good pop at the beginning, but it all depends on how he's going to be used. The other thing I could see if The Rock actually fought Roman Reigns, as far as who's the tribal chief or something like that, I can see a storyline like that working. But outside of that, I don't really, see anything that would make me want to watch.
Right. And that's the issue. You bring in The Rock, great pop for ratings, but there's literally nothing for him to do but fight Roman Reigns, which, great main event for WrestleMania, but past that, what are you going to do with it? You can't just throw him up against Finn Balor or throw him up against a Bobby Lashley. No one's going to care. That's not going to really draw any eyes. So,
like it's basically just a Band-Aid covering a gunshot wound. What's going on, J Money?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm excited about this AEW show. Now, I've been somebody that's been really critical of AEW in the past, but I started watching again. Like when CM Punk came back, I said I'm gonna give him a 4-week trial. I gave him the 4-week trial. I'm still watching, so they've done some good things for me to watch, and I'm just interested in seeing what they're gonna do with this super show that they're gonna have going on right now. They got a lot of interesting matches, some booking thing going on. The thing I want to talk about, the Bryan Danielson Kenny Omega match. I personally feel AEW should be one of the times they should take advantage of the fact that they have time limits, and that match should end in a draw. I know a lot of people probably say that's bullshit, but to me, if they have like a 30-minute match that ends in a draw, it doesn't hurt either guy. And then when you have that rematch, it'll be a little bit more intrigue. What do you guys think about something like that?
I like it.
Right, man. I mean, look, I was saying this on Twitter, that if it turns out if y'all want to have somebody lose, then that's clearly telling me that you guys have given up on the Adam Page storyline. Now, I really doubt that they have. So, in my opinion, they need to go to a draw, and they can obviously get away with it because both the Rampage and Dynamite shows are going to be taped at the same venue on the same night. And if you're going to have Omega and Danielson be basically in the middle of the show, then you're not sending the fans home pissed off. You can end off the show with the Biz Cliz and Luchasaurus and Christian to end off the match, or the lights out match, and you have a way to send the fans home happy. So you guys have an out. So I mean, I really don't see what the problem is by having it go to a time limit.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think why I like what Jay just put on the table here is that not only does it protect Omega for when he eventually does end up losing that belt to Page, which I think is still going to happen around Full Gear or something, but it also protects Bryan. I don't want Bryan to come in and lose his first match, but at the same time, I don't want him to come and beat Omega either. You know what I mean? That's the best way to go about it, with them going to a time limit draw, and I don't see anybody complaining about it too much. They might be disappointed, but not in a way where it's like, oh, that's bullshit, but more along the lines.
I just don't want the old WWE screw job. Somebody comes in the ring and DQ finish bullshit. I just don't want that.
Nah, that's not going to be the case. I personally think what you just presented was logical booking, and I personally wouldn't be surprised if that's what we got. And you already know Dave already has the 5-star rating. He just has it ready to go on his side to throw on the match when it's over with. It's not really about maybe I don't know. I'm starting to actually question what I just said. Do you guys think he'll give it 5 stars? Do you think he'll actually over and under 5 stars here?
It's not
Meltzer.
Yeah, Meltzer.
Yeah, man, he hit that 5 stars, bro. Look. So in regards to the star ratings. Dave Meltzer's 5-star rating do not mean nothing no more because nowadays when he rates something 5 stars, that's basically like a 4.5-star match.
Right.
So as far as like the quote unquote perfect match, he going 7 stars. But
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, you know, but like but see the big issue I got with Meltzer these days is that there was a point in time where his star ratings meant something, and he was very critical of the matches. So when it turned out when he did rate something 5 stars, it meant something.
It meant something.
But as soon as I saw him started giving matches like the Young Bucks tag matches from like New Japan 5 stars, I'm like, bro, you are basically having Dragon Gate syndrome. That's Dragon Gate syndrome. What he got, you know, like if any of y'all ever saw a Dragon Gate match, especially a 6-man match, when you first see that, it'd probably be the most amazing thing in the world. But the more and more you watch it,
I'll go ahead.
right. But as far as the Dragon Gate syndrome, if you ever saw a Dragon Gate 6-man, it'll be looked at as if it's the greatest match in the world. But the more and more you see it, the more and more you're critical of it because you've seen that stuff before. That's pretty much how I am. You know, like I've seen a whole bunch of things back then, but nowadays when I watch a particular match, everybody go crazy over it. But I'm like, yo, like I saw this stuff in Europe. I saw this stuff in Japan. I saw this stuff in Mexico before. But anyways, go ahead, J Money.
All right, now one thing, I've been, like I said, I've watched AEW, so I've been watching like the good things and the bad. They doing a lot more good things than bad. But here's one thing that I want to point out that nobody was talking about, like on AEW Dynamite that just happened on Wednesday, and it's something like it's just something that stuff AEW need to work on, like that segment between MJF and Brian Pillman Jr., like how they just made Brian Pillman Jr. look like a complete jabroni.
Yeah,
he literally he does the old, you know, I'm coming through the crowd, and you send Wardlow to come out there, and he comes from behind with a chair and about to attack him, and it's like he can't attack somebody from behind with a chair. Like seriously, like MJF, this man said, "Hey, I'm talking to your dad in hell," and he said, "Your mother should have fucking swallowed you and shit." You telling me he can't give MJF a couple of chair shots and shit, man?
Yeah, something.
I'm like, what?
To be fair, Wardlow was in that ring. Do you know how tall Wardlow is?
He got a fucking chair.
True.
True. The thing about it, when people look at, because he looked a lot like Brian Pillman, I think they need to. They're expecting him to be like a loose cannon or something. You know, like he to me, he's too. His character not aggressive enough, in my opinion. He's not aggressive enough. I don't know because I don't know how experienced he is. I didn't even how experienced is he as a wrestler? Is he new to it?
He's still fairly new. He hasn't really hit like the double-digit mark at all. I think he's around 5 years or not even that. He's new.
He fairly green. Okay.
Yeah, dude. He's
still great. I'm just saying somebody should have rewrote that script. Like, come on, man. Like the guy's a fucking major heel. He's over. That would have got the program over a little bit more. I'm like, even he don't hit Wardlow, he fucking hits MJF with a couple of chair shots. Get the fuck out the ring. Like the beat, you can't sit. You behind someone and you slam the chair to the mat and you alert them. Like.
You do have a point, because the whole point is to make you think that Brian Pillman can beat MJF. That's what you want. That's the whole point of getting the babyface over. And you're right. Even now sitting in front of you, I don't think Brian Pillman is beating MJF next Wednesday.
No.
Which is probably what they want you to think when he does beat him. It'll mean something, but I don't know. I agree with you. Like,
I've had and I told LV this before. See, this is what my plan would have been for MJF. See, I would have had MJF been the first TNT champion, because you think about that belt, when that belt didn't become important until Darby Allin won it. Because when Cody first had it, it just felt like he has this belt because he's not competing for the world title. And then Brody Lee had it for like a month, and then Cody won it back. But imagine if MJF would have had that belt for about 6, 7, 8 months, and then Darby Allin is the one that gives him his first loss in the company. Think of how fucking over MJF is a heel. Think of how much bigger that would have boosted Darby Allin as well. I just think that was a missed opportunity. And people say, "Oh, MJF don't need the belt." It's not about MJF not needing the belt. The belt needed MJF.
Right, you're trying to establish the prestige of the title in terms of making it important. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And that's your best heel in your company. I know Kenny Omega's the champion. He's not the fucking best heel in that company. MJF.
Yeah, MJF to me, MJF is the best heel in wrestling to me. Period.
Yes,
that's my opinion.
Top 3 for me, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so if you would have had him as your first TNT champion and the heat that he's getting, and then you have someone like Darby Allin. Imagine that pop Darby Allin would have gotten when he beat MJF for the title. It's been fucking massive.
But what do y'all think about how are they going to use? He just came. CM Punk. Like they had him do a match. Why couldn't that be a storyline with Darby? I mean, it's like give him one good match, and now he's basically announcing the next week. I'm like, I don't get that.
I think CM Punk gonna turn heel eventually.
So here's what's going on with Punk. Punk, when he actually did an interview on this, when he came in, he told Tony Khan the first people he wants to work with is Ricky Starks, Hook, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Those are the first people he wanted to work with. So this feud is actually his request. You can argue whether or not that was the right call. Maybe he should have gone after a much more suitable heel, which would have been an MJF or hell, maybe even Omega. You can pick better heels, but he wants to put over some young talent. Which, hey, I'm all for that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to establish new names, and if Punk wants to do that, shoot, who's going to tell him no? That's one of the highest paid talent here in wrestling. Not saying that you're wrong. I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm just telling you why it's happening. You know what I mean?
I pretty much think that that's probably the best thing for Punk to do because I think what kind of the things that a lot of people kind of fall into the trap is what TNA and WCW did. Because once they have a big star, they want to throw them up with all the other big stars. Meanwhile, you have your homegrown talent just sitting there feuding with other homegrown talent. And then pretty soon you ain't gonna take them seriously, and then it's gonna be people like us saying, "Well, hey, how come Darby Allin ain't getting the push? How come Powerhouse Hobbs ain't getting the push and whatnot?" So I think right now, what Punk obviously is your biggest star with him feuding with guys like Powerhouse Hobbs and eventually Hook and eventually Ricky Starks. I think Punk also mentioned Jungle Boy as well.
Yep.
Yeah. When you have Punk feuding with those guys, getting those rubs, then those younger guys are going to get taken a lot more seriously years down the line because obviously TNA didn't do that shit.
Right.
Obviously, TNA didn't do that.
I don't get the Jungle Boy thing, man. I'm not buying into him. He's too
Nah,
small.
Really?
Nah.
I don't like the Jungle Boy character. I really
You don't like Luke Perry's son? Really?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Every time I have this discussion about them, you don't like Luke Perry's son? I'm like, is he going to be known as a wrestler? Going to be known as Luke Perry's son?
Oh, right.
Come on, man. Let's really think about it.
Here's the reason.
I hate what you mean, though.
The reason I don't like Jungle Boy is because they need to go all in with the gimmick. He needs to be yes. If you're gonna call him Jungle Boy, actually do the shit. If not, come up with something different. Not fucking Jungle Boy. I know people say, "Oh, it's corny" if they go full on board with it, but then why the fuck is he Jungle Boy if he's just gonna be just another guy that comes out in some trunks?
Right.
Well, here's what I will say in defense of Jungle Boy. I see what you guys are saying. He's not necessarily lighting the world on fire for me either. I do see the talent. I see the potential that everyone else sees. And I think what Tony is doing with Jungle Boy is putting him on TV as much as possible to see what he needs to do to get that talent out of him. Now, I respect the matches he's had. I think the matches he's had with Chris Jericho and the tag matches, especially with Luchasaurus, have been great. I love his tag matches with Luchasaurus. I understand where both of you are coming from in terms of him having a character. I think the biggest issue with Luke Perry's son, honestly, he's not great on the microphone. I think that's his biggest issue. He
said something about he don't like talking on the mic.
Right. He even said that. Which, dude, you gotta learn how to talk.
You're gonna have to talk on the mic. I mean, you're undersized. I mean, I'm just saying, you're gonna have to emotionally do something verbally to get people to buy into your character. I mean,
and
it ain't like it's not like he 6'3", 250 pounds.
No, for real.
So you have to do something.
Yeah. But I see the talent, though. I know what they're going for when I look at him. I mean, he has a great look to him. Isn't he dating Anna right now? What's her name from the
Anna J?
Anna J. I'm telling you, man. Like there's something to him that makes him appealing to a mass audience, which is why they're getting him out there. Besides him just being Luke Perry's son, he has something. Now it might take them a while to figure it out, but it is what it is. What were you gonna say?
Right. So like I wanted to go back to what Jay Money was saying about Jungle Boy going all the way with the gimmick. I think the one thing that's stopping them from going to that, and I think AEW feels the same way. The fact of the matter is that when it comes to Jungle Boy, he's a pretty boy. And when it comes to pretty boy, you're gonna bring in them ring rats. Once you get them ring rats in, you're gonna get some money and all that. So I think that's the only thing that's stopping Jungle Boy from going all the way with that.
What happened?
You said what?
Or was it just on my end?
It's on your end, man.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
But I think that's what's stopping him though.
He'll figure it out. How old is Jungle Boy? Is he like 23, 24?
Yeah, he's like 23, 24.
That's a lot of time to figure it out. That's the great thing about AEW. I love that Tony gets them young, and not just like young 30s or late 20s. I'm talking like early 20s, late teens, young. Like I heard Hook was like he barely got out of his teenage years. So he's investing in them while they're there. So who knows? But that's why you feature young talent like him. Maybe he'll be a fucking flop. Who knows? Maybe he'll get up there, they'll try to work, and then it'll just be a complete disaster. But that's what you have to risk. You have to go for the young people. Because if you trust the ones that are working, you're just gonna eventually you're gonna run out of people to use. You can't just consistently do Omega and Moxley and Punk and Bryan all the goddamn time. You got to eventually put Darby Allin in there. You got to eventually put give me another new face, a Hangman Page in there. You got to eventually try some women out. Britt Baker, we haven't talked about Britt Baker in the women's division yet.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good. I like her character a lot. But I what's the other lady, the black chick with the blonde? To me, I don't think they're using her correctly.
Jay Cargill?
Her booking has been bad.
Well,
you think so?
Yeah, man. I mean, do we even know the women she's? I'm just saying, like, I don't think. I mean, that's just my opinion. I just think she should be booked better.
Tell you what, I loved it when they brought her in.
Man.
Right, I loved it when they brought her in with Shaq. I thought that was perfect. That was a great way to introduce her. I wish they would have kept that, but unfortunately, when Shaq went away, so did that storyline, and they put her with some Hammernager called Smart Mark or some shit like that. I don't know who they put.
You know what I like when she first came in and she was like basically jarring with Cody Rhodes' wife.
Mm-hmm.
I like that little storyline. That was pretty cool. I thought that was, but
that was gonna go somewhere. But homegirl got in. What was that?
I came back right when y'all talking about my favorite woman on AEW.
Jay Cargill.
Oh yeah. Now that's something I want to talk about. Undefeated streaks in wrestling. Those things can be curses, man. And my thing is, if y'all had to book her first loss, how would it go? Because I did not want her to be. I did not want her to be champion undefeated. I don't want that shit. Like, she need to lose before she ever wins the title at some point.
I mean,
oh man, like I haven't really, man, like I haven't really gone that far as far as who's gonna beat her.
I would have her lose against that that transsexual female.
Nyla Rose?
Yeah, I'd have her lose against Nyla.
Nah. Well, you talking about probably because she got like power advantage, like because she's strong and big.
Yeah,
and like that.
somebody like that you know.
Well, Nyla Rose is someone that I can see wrestling men, which I'm actually surprised they haven't gone the route of yet. I was thinking like the China, like if I was going to have a modern day China, it would be Nyla Rose. Like we should start experimenting with that, especially with her.
Oh no, don't do that. No.
I mean, it's really a man. It's really a man.
Whoa, hold on. Like so the whole thing about it is, guys, AEW's on national television. If y'all start doing that intergender bullshit, y'all gonna bring out the fake ass women's wrestling activists. They're gonna go insane. They're gonna Me Too motherfuckers. I do not want to see intergender wrestling on national television. That's WWE, TNA, MLW, Ring of Honor, none of that. Now, as far as the indies, okay, fine, because the independents, I don't care. But on national television, nah, don't do that because y'all gon' hell no. Nah. I don't even want to think about that.
I got you, but so maybe you have a point there, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be cool if we had a China type of character nowadays. Someone that can go back and forth. You know what I mean? Just something unique about that. But you're probably right about it being that.
All right. Hey, one last thing on Jade Cargill. I think because everybody sees she's a heel, and I said this, it's gonna be similar like Bianca. She's gonna be a huge babyface wrestler, like when she makes it big, because of that marketable look, and she's getting better in the ring. Once she's getting better on promos and stuff like that, she's gonna be a huge babyface. She's not gonna be like heel forever. I think she's gonna get over huge as a babyface. Some people disagree with me. She's natural heel. Like, nah, I think she's gonna be a babyface when she makes it big.
So with Jade Cargill as a babyface, I think the AEW audience won't appreciate that. Now, if she was in WWE and she was a babyface, then yeah, like I would agree she would get over. But as far as a baby, I mean, possibly how they book it.
She could still be the main character.
Yeah, probably. Oh man, like I'm just trying to like I'm trying to imagine it.
We ain't talking about like anytime soon.
Yeah, because see the thing about Jade Cargill, when you look at her, you automatically think WWE, a superstar.
She has that look. She got the look.
Like,
I mean, like you automatically think. Yeah, like and plus the fact of her being so green, oh man, like I don't know if they would appreciate that.
I would give it. Let's give it a year. I don't know. Go ahead.
Of women's wrestling, like I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen to Bianca. What was the lady that Bianca Belair was going to wrestle, and then they kind of did away with it?
Sasha Banks. Yeah.
What the hell happened to Sasha Banks?
No one knows.
Oh
this
no!
is crazy, man. Like, do y'all remember how the anticipation was for that match with her and Bianca? And I mean, I'm sorry, man. I don't think Becky Lynch should have won. Period. I don't think she should have got it, but. It's like you messed up Bianca's character, and then you messed up Sasha Banks. Nowhere to be found.
I got my thoughts.
Saw that SmackDown.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say if they have
Saw
Bianca
that
lose
SmackDown
to Becky
promo.
Lynch at that if they have Becky Lynch, if they have Bianca lose to Becky Lynch at that pay-per-view, they officially killed her character.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not losing. She's getting the title back. I guarantee you.
That's a must-win match for her because if you and people, because people tell me on Twitter, oh, just because she loses to Becky Lynch in a couple of matches don't ruin her. I'm like, it ain't just her losing. She lost in 26 seconds, and then if you have her lose to Becky Lynch, you would just show that she ain't shit compared to Becky Lynch. That's what you would pretty much show. Like the only way you can have Becky Lynch win that match, she'll have to pull heel one-on-one. Like she'll have to cheat that entire fucking match.
And she's not a good heel.
Like hit her with a fucking chair, like pull the fucking like turnbuckle off. She'll have to do everything Like that's how much she would have to do.
That's so out of character for her, though. That's
But
not.
Becky Lynn is not a
That's
good
what I'm
heel,
saying.
man. She terrible as a heel.
Oh man, I can't see her doing that. Like disqualifying herself on purpose to keep the belt. Nah, man, I can't.
No,
I
not
can't
saying
imagine.
disqualified. I'm saying like she have to, like, if she pinned Bianca, she'd have to do like everything like in the book. Like, but I'm just saying Bianca got to win that match anyway, though. Like,
I mean, even if you have her do like dirty stuff, like use weapons or pull the tights, that's not her. That just doesn't feel like Becky because she's never done that before. You know what I mean? It just feels out of character. It feels
It's
fake.
WWE though, Alex.
I know.
It's the WWE though, Alex. Man, you cannot give these assholes the benefit of the doubt. They're gonna do something dumb. I'm telling you, they're gonna do something dumb.
I'm thinking to give benefit of the doubt that they're gonna put the title back on Bianca, but I ain't hold out my hopes though.
Cause that would suck. You had her losing 26 seconds at SummerSlam and then losing the rematch too. Yo, don't do that. That's not gonna go.
And then people tell me, oh, well, Becky just got the title. She can't lose the title that quick. I'm like, they literally
Why not?
She didn't deserve it.
They literally had Brock Lesnar cash in the Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins and lost at the next pay-per-view. Well, if
Exactly.
Brock Lesnar could lose at the next pay-per-view, what the fuck Becky Lynch can?
Matter of fact, it makes the most sense for her to win because Becky got a cheap shot and won. Bianca's more prepared this time. Bianca's going to prove she's the better wrestler. So, yeah, that's the right way to go about it. It'll rectify what happened.
Well,
no, I know.
Now, the only thing I'll say about this conversation is that if you guys didn't watch SmackDown last night, that should give you an indication of what they think about Bianca Belair.
I didn't watch it. I saw the football game. What happened?
I saw the
Man, look.
Yeah, beat up.
Man, so last night SmackDown Day was in Tennessee. Bianca Belair's hometown. They had a homecoming segment. Mayor Kane's out there. Bianca Belair's celebrating. Becky Lynch comes out there. She gets the heat. Then Becky Lynch does the handshake. They do the handshake. Bianca doesn't fall for it. Bianca sets her up for the KOD. And Becky Lynch reverses it and puts her in the manhandle slam in her hometown. I'm like, come on now. I mean, I'm like, bro, like, it's so simple. I mean, bro, like, it's her hometown. It's her hometown. I mean,
that ain't the best part. That ain't the best part. They had a dark match after the match, and they had Bianca beat her in like a dark match after the show was over. Like,
no,
really?
Are you
yeah,
serious?
go on Twitter. Go on Twitter.
That didn't make any sense.
They had her and Becky had like last week they had John Cena in Madison Square Garden after a dark match, like after the show was over. But they had a dark non-title match in which Bianca beat Becky after the show was over. It's on Twitter.
That didn't make sense.
Man, but look though, like it's like I was saying, like it's so simple. It's so simple. Like you're in the hometown, and Becky Lynch already got the heat by interrupting the segment. She already got the heat. Why are you giving her more heat? I mean, like, what was the point of that?
I don't know.
I can't tell you. To win that title match. She can't keep looking like a geek against Becky and then lose the title match.
Man, it's a wrap. Man, it's a wrap.
And you have to think about this too. Think about this as well. So let's just say Becky does beat Bianca. Where do you go from there? Who does she fight after that? You gonna bring back Sasha, turn her babyface? Good luck.
Zelina Vega.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thinking about that, I want to get my thoughts about that, man. Some of these fake woke ass motherfuckers that be like, "Oh, Zelina Vega, her dad died," and I'm not trying to, make light her dad dying and stuff like that. But it was like, what were you gonna take off of that show to put her whatever her crappy ass match for? Like WWE fans complain all the time. They never give us a good show. They finally give you a good show, and you still find something to complain about. And then when Zelina Vega came out, like I didn't see her match. I think they said she had a match on SmackDown. I didn't see the match, but some people were talking about she got no crowd reaction when she came out.
Bro.
I'm tired of seeing her, to be honest with you.
Bro.
She got matches that she didn't even deserve.
Look though, but look though, like I watched SmackDown this morning. So basically, what happened is that they had the tag match that was supposed to happen last week. That a lot of people was complaining about that didn't go on. This match didn't even go for 1 minute, and the match ended up with
a count out. Yeah.
Because Liv Morgan pushed Carmella into the turnbuckles, and Carmella screaming that she broke her nose, and they counted it out. That lasted probably a minute, maybe a minute 30, and then it leads to Liv Morgan and Carmella at Extreme Rules. Yeah, that's the match that they was complaining about. That didn't happen. That match.
You give them a minute, it has a crappy finish, and then you set up a match that way, and then you expect people to care. What the fuck?
And here's the best part. Here's the best part. Zelina Vega says, well, before that muchacha go face you in Extreme Rules, she has to go through me first. So we're gonna have Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan next week on SmackDown.
Oh wow.
I am so ready for this draft to be over with. Honestly, I don't know how y'all feel about the draft. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, just get rid of it and have everybody on both shows again. Because
exactly, that's what it needs to be, man. If they're going to compete with AEW, they're going to need Roman Reigns to be on Raw and SmackDown. I'm sorry.
Period.
That's going to have to happen unless they're going to continue to lose in the demographics. Unless he's on both shows.
Yeah, man, AEW is just a hipper product, man. It's just, man.
But why is it the hipper product? Why is it the hipper product, though?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why it's hipper.
I don't know. It's just you watching
because they're not
pumping crowd noise.
My thing is this, man. They keeping people in NXT too long, man. Like Adam Cole had no business going to AEW. He should have been on the Raw roster. Like, why are you keeping these guys so long in NXT? It makes no sense.
Yeah,
right.
The show is never going to draw big numbers. And you spend all this money.
They're trying to change it now. They got that new NXT 2.0. They're trying to make it more of a character based
FCW.
But did you see that show?
I like that they're doing that though. I just think it shouldn't be on national TV though. It should be like on Peacock.
Exactly.
That should not be on USA. But if they get like at least 600K viewers regularly USA, they ain't paying that much money for it. Shit, they'll keep it on there.
But
see,
here's
what happens.
You can't keep these guys on there for 2 and 3, 4 years, man. That to me,
right.
What is Samoa Joe doing in NXT? For what?
No, it depends. Now it depends if it's talent that don't have experience, then you keep them as long as you need. But people who got fucking experience, they should be in NXT. It should be the Kevin Owens rule. He was there 6 months, did his thing, and got the fuck out. That's how it should be. Maybe a year, but you shouldn't be there 5, 6 years in fucking NXT if you got wrestling experience.
So, in my personal opinion, I think originally, this is what happened. Triple H was smart enough to go, all right, if I'm going to have NXT, let me at least use this as a platform to make the indie hardcore fan base happy in case they don't like what's happening on the main roster. He was smart about that. And he realized that if this is what NXT is going to be to help build for the main roster, I'm going to at least teach these indie guys how the WWE style works. And that's what he did. I think over time, Vince McMahon literally saw what was happening with NXT and said, I can't have them thinking NXT is better than my show. So we're going to have to let Triple H know that when you send them up, I'm going to have to change them to fit my image. And that was Triple H's mistake. He didn't realize that Vince didn't really give a shit about what the fans want. Vince just cares about what he likes. That's always been how it was. Until he's getting his ass kicked by the competition.
And that's what's going to end up happening.
Yep. But Vince has always been about what pleases him, what he thinks is great. And Triple H made the mistake of listening to us. And that was the biggest problem. Because all these people that he sent up there, the Sami Zayns and I'd be here all day just naming the people that got sent up and got treated like shit. And then they ended up leaving.
Yeah.
So Triple H should have I think what's happening now with NXT is a result of that. Vince has basically said, all right, if you're going to keep sending me up shitty wrestlers that I don't like, let me just go down to NXT and make it into something that I like. So I already know I don't have to worry about calling these people up, killing their fucking gimmick, and starting them back over again when I don't even want them. That's what we're seeing with Keith Lee, which is sad.
Man, like the only reason why NXT was NXT as far as an indie fed was because they was trying to halt Ring of Honor. That was the original reason. Because if you notice, the people they did pick up, a lot of those guys came from Ring of Honor. And then pretty soon, when Ring of Honor was going down, New Japan started to come to the rise. Then they started to raid more indie talent so people don't go to New Japan or to other independent promotions or where the case is. And then it got to the point where they pretty much monopolized everybody up until AEW came into effect. Then what they tried to do, they tried to counter-program AEW, and that failed. And now we're in the position that we're in. So that pretty much all started when they was trying to counter up Ring of Honor. Because at that point in time, Ring of Honor was trying to get a lot of people. Right. Then all of a sudden went from Kevin Steen, El Generico, Chris Hero. At one point in time, they almost got the Briscoes, but the Briscoes says, "Nah, we ain't falling for that." Those were the few people that was smart enough not to fall for that bullshit. But everybody else was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad to be here. Oh my god, WWF always wanted to be there." And then boom, look at them now.
I mean, it's the place where Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart, they all bled, sweat, and tears inside the ring. I'm wrestling in the same ring as all these legends, but it's not the same company. And that's the mistake they made.
Totally different. Totally different.
Mick Foley literally came out and said, if I was to wrestle nowadays, I wouldn't be as over as I was back then. He doesn't trust the creative process.
You don't have the creative freedom you used to either.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does.
But you gotta understand, they had competition. Competition changed every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. The worst thing, when you don't have competition, you get lazy.
Yeah.
And so
AEW's that competition now. It's becoming the competition.
Yeah, exactly.
At first, I used to say AEW wasn't competition, but then LV kind of corrected me, explaining the difference between a threat and competition. So AEW
there you go.
Competition. They're not like a threat yet, but they're competition.
They might be a threat very soon. I heard their market value went up. Like I think the market value for AEW is around $400 million, which is huge.
They can't be a threat until they go global. Once they start
global, then you can say that pay-per-view buys were pretty good too.
Yeah,
they are really good. They had good pay-per-view buys, and you can't ignore that.
I think AEW's I think All Out. I think Dave Meltzer said it did over 200K.
Yeah, did 250.
Yep.
250. Damn.
Yeah, they did over 200, and that was, and they said it was like, I want to say the one before that it was like less than 100. It was less than 130,000. It almost doubled. They stated it almost doubled. Because it was in the $100,000 the pay-per-view prior to that. So they had pretty good buys. So
they said CM Punk wasn't the draw. Fuck off.
Shit. I know people, they were waiting for that. They was waiting for CM Punk. You know? My thing was that they changed what they were going to do that weekend because of CM Punk. That Friday, the next thing you know, what's the guy? Brock Lesnar comes showing up out of the blue. I'm like, wait a minute.
Not just Brock either. Becky came back as well.
Yeah, Becky came back too. All these people came back. Come on, man. That was good for a reason.
Oh, why do you think Roman is showing up on Monday? It's all because it's a competition, like you say. It's the AEW effect.
So they're going to have to change how they do business.
Yep. So I'm trying to understand this comment by Tony Lopez said Dark and Elevation still suffering though. What the hell are you talking about?
I wonder what he means by that because they're fine. They're exactly what they need to be.
They're fine. Now, especially they're gonna be in Universal Studios now. AEW Worldwide.
Right.
Or WCW Worldwide back in the day.
Right. Yeah. As long as these wrestlers are getting a place. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was gonna say something irrelevant. I'm just gonna say Full Gear in my backyard, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's awesome. As long as these wrestlers are getting a place to just to practice and get their craft out and perfect their in-ring work, I don't really care like the quality of the shows of Dark and Elevation. I don't really watch those shows for the quality of it. They're not meant to have good quality. They're meant to get the wrestlers out there to try out new shit. You know what I mean? See what works.
And you get to see a lot of unsigned talent too, like talents that's like in other companies that's just working. You can like find out like where they work at and watch other promotions as well. But people not thinking like that though. So,
but that's what really
dude.
matters.
I remember. That was one of the main reasons why I watched Dark and Elevation, because you know a lot of these indie guys I would see all the time. I would see them on there. Like I remember when I first saw Daniel Garcia on Dark, I was like, oh shit, with Daniel Garcia. Who else was there? Like, but yeah, like I saw a whole bunch of people I used to watch all the time. But if there's one request I want AEW to do, as far as these developmental wrestlers, I seriously want them to go on excursions. I mean, like, yo, like if it turns out they send Tay Conti to Japan for about 6 months, oh my God, man, she's gonna be fucking crazy. Man, like if they send her to Japan, oh my God, man, Tay Conti will be crazy.
They can do that.
And look,
they have a relationship.
And like they can send Private Party to Mexico and shit like that, man. Damn, like I really, but yeah, like I think AEW in the future needs to do something like that, like New Japan does with their Young Lions, where they're out there doing some dark matches, have some competitive dark matches, then they go on excursion to develop their characters, because that's how you got people like Jay White to be how he is as the Blade or as the Switchblade. You know, guys like Evil, Show and Yo, those guys. Also includes guys like Okada too. Because Okada was on excursion in TNA. Now, I don't want to talk about his time in TNA, but shit, when he came back, he had the Rainmaker gimmick. And look at him now. But that's one thing I want AEW really to do.
I think they'll be able to do it, especially with the roster they have. It is getting packed. Speaking of the roster they have, I'm noticing more and more wrestlers' contracts coming up. You know what I mean? They announced that Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn's contracts are coming up, but Johnny Gargano's is about to expire as well around December 3rd. So they could be getting a lot more talent.
Yeah, man. I'm just rubbing my hands like Birdman. No, I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see those guys leave. Now, as far as Gargano, you know, like I don't know if he's gonna leave or not, because he seems pretty content over there. Seems like he wants to be a trainer over there in the near future.
You think so? I think he might be out, especially knowing that he's like a professional wrestler at heart, and he's not going up to the main roster, which is why I think he's leaving.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I don't know. It's just that the way Gargano talks about NXT, he seems so loyal to it. And if it turns out his contract is up, you know, like I could pretty much see Triple H saying, "I don't got nobody else. You're the only one here. Can you please stay?" And then Gargano like an idiot signs, and then he'll get jobbed out by guys like Braun Breaker.
But he knows that. He understands if he resigns, he'll understand what his role will be, and if he does, that's on him. I don't know Gargano. I don't know how he feels. Maybe he just wants to make money. That's why John Morrison went to WWE. He could have gone to AEW. He decided to just make money for the rest of his career. And that's all right. I'm not mad at anybody who chooses money, because that's their life. I just personally think Gargano, especially Tommaso Ciampa, whose contract should be up pretty soon as well, they know what they love. They know that wrestling is not in WWE no more, especially since they changed NXT to basically be a baby version of Raw Light. So if he's not going to be able to do what he does or loves to do in NXT anymore, why stay? Might as well go to if not AEW, Impact Wrestling, go somewhere else. You make probably more money because he's not going to go to the main roster. He can make more money in AEW. So there's a lot of things to think.
Now there was also a point that Joshua Daniels brought up. He brought up Candice. Now see, when it comes to Cesaro, the main reason why he's still in WWE, well, I can't say the main reason, but because of his wife, Sarah Del Rey, still in WWE, and Cesaro's like, you know, like I might as well just stay with my wife. You know, we got good livings and shit like that. So that could also be a factor. Also with Candice being pregnant, you know, I don't know, man, but
we'll see.
Hey, that didn't stop Miro. He said, "Fuck that, I'm getting." Well, no, he got fired, but still, that's still a baffling decision. Like, how they didn't see like any type of potential in him was just I don't know. But
here's the thing: when it comes to Miro, Rusev, I'm pretty sure they saw the potential. I think it's just the case of Vince didn't create him, so Vince doesn't like him. I think it's an ego thing.
Yeah, I think LV mentioned it one time, and I didn't used to believe him when he said this. I thought he was talking bullshit, but I starting to see it now. He said, if you get yourself over and not get over by the machine, Vince, he don't like that shit.
Rusev Day was not a Vince McMahon decision. When Rusev was the Russian, the evil Russian come to take over America, like he got all the TV time. But the moment you went away from that and became himself, Rusev Day fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
don't get me started on Lana. What they did to Lana was fucked up too.
I mean, it pretty much goes all the way back to Zack Ryder. And with Zack Ryder, you know, he had to get over the hard way. I mean, because shit, you talk about in 2011, 12, where social media wasn't that prevalent like it is now. I mean, bro, like that dude was a jobber, and he had to work his ass off with social media to get himself over. And as soon as I saw how Vince McMahon treated him, I immediately said to myself, look, if it turns out if you get yourself over on your own, Vince McMahon is going to stop you. And if you look at all the other people that got over on their own and it wasn't a Vince McMahon thing, they will just shut it down. And Rusev was another example of that.
I go to the women's division. Like how Charlotte became like the big star of the women's division, but Sasha was the one that was over the most. Like when they first came up.
Right.
And Vince put an end to Sasha. He was like, nope, that ain't happening. I'm pushing Charlotte because that's who I want. Even though, like, I remember, like, when they first came up, like, it was fans chanting, like, they wanted Sasha in matches. She wasn't even in and shit. Like, that's how over she was getting. And Vince was like, no, I'm going to push who I want to push. And you see Charlotte, they, like, still to this day, they put everything behind her to try to, like, put her, like, in the top spot. Like she's, like, and I'm not saying Charlotte's a bad talent. Charlotte's a really good talent, but you could tell she's, like, a Federation-created machine. And she's just one example, and that situation is just one example of several things that they do. Like Vince has his favorites, he gonna fucking do everything in the moon to fucking make sure you highlight it properly. And unless like it has to get to like that Becky Lynch point where it gets so like the fans so want this so much that that he has no choice because
exactly
a lot of people don't know. It was supposed to be Ronda versus Charlotte at that WrestleMania.
Oh, match. We all knew. Trust me.
Becky, she wasn't supposed to be in that match. He was going to do Becky just like he did Sasha and push her to the side. But the fans was like, nah, we ain't letting that happen. Like, they really made sure that ain't happen. He had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
It really should have been Becky versus Ronda. Charlotte should have been nowhere near that main event.
Fuck no, she shouldn't have been.
Hell no.
They still shoved her in that match. So they said she gonna be in this match.
She gonna be in this fucking match. We gonna make this, and that's how they kill Rhea Ripley. Like you had Rhea Ripley. She was
God, don't get me started on her.
And then Charlotte. Charlotte. It's like when they used to say Triple H had the golden shovel. Now Charlotte got that for the women's division.
Man, like those fools gave Charlotte Flair the belt because they thought that would counter program AEW. Man, those some clowns, man. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all sacrificed Rhea Ripley just to counter program AEW, and y'all still lost.
And then they sacrificed Asuka to her.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Asuka was undefeated.
Asuka pissed me off, bro.
And here's the worst part about the Asuka shit. It wasn't even that Charlotte beat her. She tapped her out.
Yep.
Like tapped her out, bro. Like how you gonna have somebody undefeated that long and they tap out? Like if somebody undefeated like that, you better hit them with like 10 chair shots, like 3 finishers. Like
that's what I'm saying, man.
It gotta be some like over the top shit. If you got an undefeated babyface to beat them. Well, at least it wasn't a taser.
Hey, oh God, Asuka wasn't. Again, she wasn't created by Vince. That was one of Triple H's biggest projects, and he struck gold with Asuka. Like, Asuka was one of those talents on NXT that was outdrawing, not just outdrawing, but outselling merchandise from people on the main roster. I think it was, who was it? It was Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Asuka were the top merchandise sellers on NXT, and Bayley. Those five talents were outselling people on the main roster when it comes to merchandise. That's how over she was, and they still fucked her up. I don't get it, bro.
So you know what's weird about the Asuka thing? As y'all talking, there was a podcast Edge and Christian did. I think this was when Asuka was in NXT. I think it was when she was in NXT, and Edge made a comment saying that he really didn't understand what people saw in Asuka, and he was really saying this on that podcast. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then the next thing I knew, Asuka goes on the main roster, she gets pushed, and then she jobs out to Charlotte, and then, oh boy, here we go. We get like the stereotypical Asian girl acting all crazy, doing the woo stuff and talking all Japanese and shit. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is a Kevin Dunn Vince special.
I don't.
Was Edge being serious? Because sometimes he say stuff tongue in cheek, or was he being dead serious?
Nah, like he was dead ass serious. He did not. He pretty much did not understand what the appeal was in Asuka.
His opinion that seriously?
Man, like, I don't know, but I mean, but it was just the way that he's talking, you know, like, and you know, like when you look at the tone of certain people, you know, you kind of get that vibe, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. So I was kind of connecting the dots with that. I was like,
oh man, I meant to brought this up when D.Derell was on here, because it'd have been interesting. Is this his name, D.Derell?
Yeah, D.Derell.
D.Derell, yeah. What y'all think about everybody getting all up in arms about the latest episode of Dark Side of the Ring? Even though this information's been out for like almost 20 years now, but everybody like it's the worst thing in the world now.
Well, understand what time period you're in, dude. This is Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay, so here's what I'm just to answer your question. This is what I'm gonna say. Although it has been out for years, a lot of these fans nowadays don't really do their research. They're not like me and LV, who've been around for way too long to not know about that, first off. But we actually like do our research. We actually go back through history to actually look behind the scenes and stuff. Some people are just actually watching just because. So understand how fucking shocking that is to hear about Ric Flair is the greatest of all time. He was. And then you hear about him slinging his thing and trying to make women touch it and sexually harassing them. And check this out. This is what's scary about that. They said that he would do that pretty often. He would do stuff like that to pop the boys. So that wasn't the first time he did that. That's what's scary about it.
No. I'm gonna say something quick, and then I'm gonna let LV get in on it. It was a couple of schemes that was like kind of scary, but the thing I didn't like is everybody's talking about, cancel Ric Flair, this and that. Nobody's talking about the actual victim that this shit happened. Like, everybody's just overlooking her. And that's what I meant by, like, there's a lot of this fake woke stuff. Like, y'all talking about Ric Flair, but y'all not showing any sympathy to the woman that shit happened to. That's right. But also, the RVD shit, some of the shit he was saying, like, how they would pop, like, fucking spiked drinks, local girls, and he was just saying that shit so casually. Like, it's just nothing to fucking, like, spike a motherfucker's drink and have their way. Like, whoa, that's the shit that scared me.
Well, dude, because that was normal back then. Oh, that was that was wrestling back then, dude. That was what it was.
I know. Yeah, I've heard stories and I did some research, but man, it wasn't even that he said it. It's just how casually, like,
it was like, oh, dude, that's nothing. We used to do that all the time. We're like, oh shit, the fuck.
And Tommy Dreamer, fuck him. He comparing like a woman getting sexually assaulted to his fucking hair. Like, he buried himself.
Yeah,
man. But I mean, as far as my thoughts on that episode, I mean, like, it wasn't anything new that I heard. I mean, pretty much everything that I heard was what I heard before. But you know, like, it's just unfortunately, we are in a time where people are very sensitive, and if it turns out if you do something wrong 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or even yesterday, you're going to get vilified for it. And even if it comes to a point where you say that you used to do that, but you don't do it no more, you know, like you're pretty much going to get vilified for it. And, you know, like, and that's just pretty unfortunate. It's pretty unfortunate. Now, as far as Flair goes, you know, like, do I see him recovering from this? I don't know. Because again, like, you know, this is coming after the speaking out stuff, and we see guys still not around, like David Starr and others. So they're still not around. So I don't know what Ric Flair, he may be able to get away with it, but I don't know. As far as Tommy Dreamer, I was surprised at that. I was surprised Tommy Dreamer said that, and he did not one time try to call the producers or anything like that. Be like, hey, look, you know, like, is it possible that we can reshoot what I said? You know, like that there was tone deaf. That was very tone deaf by Tommy Dreamer.
I can't defend it. I was just like, dude, do you even hear what you're saying? I'm not even saying he's not allowed to defend Flair. He could have just easily said, listen, I've been around Flair for decades. I've never seen him do that to any woman. Shut up and go away. That was literally all he could have just said.
Hey, my hairstyle is offensive. Like, what the
fuck?
I was like, yo, what are you talking about?
It's like you're watching him just, the train is coming and you're watching him walk towards the train. Like, dude, get off the track, man. What are you doing? Wow.
Man, he was just so tone deaf. And I'm like, bro, like, this came after the speaking out movement. I mean, bro, like, do you understand how many careers got just dashed in the damn sun because of that? And for you to say that, yeah. I'm like, bro, like, you're fucking tone deaf. You should know better than that.
Yeah, and Impact Wrestling suspended him too, and I was like, yep, that's what you get. They made the right call.
Yeah, man, but like, I was surprised at that. I was like, yo, like, you pretty much didn't bother not one time to call the producers, and plus not only that, but this episode aired just last week. I mean, like, Dark Side of the Ring been out for a while, and I'm like, bro, like, you did not one time said to yourself, wait a minute, I need to call these producers back. I'm not comfortable with what I said. Can we do a retake? Do I gotta pay y'all so I can do a retake?
Last year though, like when they was like the people they interviewed, they did this sometime last year or earlier.
Doesn't matter. Even last year was still not a good thing to say.
No, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying he had plenty of time to think about what the fuck he said and like get that shit
right.
That's
like,
what I'm talking about.
And you're right, because I can't even imagine in that moment saying that stuff. Like, again, he could have defended Flair, but there was many more ways he could have gone about what he did.
Right. And, but plus two, you know, like I think the sad part is that, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I pretty much understood what Tommy Dreamer was saying. That's why I'm not really offended as far as what he said. It's just that, bruh, like, you're in a sensitive time. You're tone deaf. That's the thing that got me. I'm like, bruh, man, like, you know, okay. So every time me and Tommy Dreamer was talking and he said that stuff to me, I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. But you say that out in public, I'm like, bro, what the fuck you doing? What are you doing? You on there? Oh my God. Especially with these wrestling fans. These wrestling fans are sensitive as hell now, bro.
Oh yeah.
I swear.
I'll tell you a conversation I had on Twitter and like how sensitive these motherfuckers are. Like, you know how they had the shit about Terry and Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that shit ain't a big deal. Like, I'm like he flashed her. Like, that's some shit. Like, and someone said, "Oh, fuck you." I said, if a woman flashed a man, will we be making as big of a fucking deal?
Thank you.
Like, we would not. And like, it's like if she walked up to him and flashed him and that got pointed out in the story, nobody would give a shit.
Nope.
But
not at all.
It's a man doing the shit. It's the worst thing in the fucking world.
Right.
Maybe I just grew up during a time where, listen, in my high school. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
You go ahead.
No, I was like, I grew up during a time in my high school that was very, like, bruh, they flashing their penis, man, please. Like, that's very common, especially in the varsity football the varsity football team's locker room, man, I won't even lie. Like boys would go around smacking
or mooning,
you know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not saying it was okay, but like, I'm just saying, like this kind of stuff. I'm just like, that's the least of my worries. Brock Lesnar flashing his penis to Terry. He probably flashed his penis to other women. They just liked it.
I mean, dude. Like I know some of these women's wrestling feminists on Twitter. Like, you know, they will make these comments about certain people talking about women's body parts, and then those same women will talk about Finn Balor. And I'm like, bitch, man, what the fuck? I was like, yo, now how the hell you gonna talk about Finn Balor, but I can't talk about Jordan Grace? The fuck?
So that Terry stuff, I was like, okay, if that's the worst you got, you good. It's not. At least she's not Deborah, who actually got beat up by Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's why.
And then the thing about Deborah, what scares me? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, because everybody want to.
But you going in and out, Jay.
Motherfuckers, like, if y'all motherfuckers don't know, y'all still going in and out.
I think you're good now.
My bad. Nah, but I was saying motherfuckers want to cancel this person, cancel that person. Shit. Like, I remember like the Raw shit when like the Hulk Hogan shit happened. And you know how I feel about the Hulk Hogan shit, LB. But then Stone Cold came out to a massive ovation and shit. Like, do y'all know y'all history about Stone Cold?
Nope.
So they obviously don't. Shit. It's so much dirt on these all these old wrestlers got dirt on their ass, man.
Bro, they're all dirty. Every single one of them. They got something. They all did something crazy. I guarantee you. Probably the only person that didn't do something crazy is Mick Foley.
Right. And speaking of dirty, you know, well, let's talk about Terry Runnels. I know Terry Runnels ain't talking about doing some fucked up shit. If y'all catch my drift.
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Oh man.
You said what?
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Hell yeah, man. I was like, you nasty ass. That shit was funny as hell.
I don't know, man. I just see it this way. Like, there are certain things that are worth getting angry about, and the cancel culture is here for a reason, because sometimes the justice system doesn't do things right, and so cancel culture needs to step in. I agree with that. I appreciate that. There are times where I think it goes a little too far. I personally don't think Ric Flair or Tommy Dreamer or anybody involved should be canceled. I mean, one, they already settled on it. So Heidi, what's her name? Heidi Doyle, whatever her name is. She got money. She got paid. So yeah, she was wrong, but it's not like justice. You know what I mean? It's not like she didn't get anything out of it. So for me personally, maybe he should go away for a little bit, not get on social media, but I think he'll blow over. People will be able to forgive him. He'll come to it. I'm more worried about Tommy Dreamer than I am Ric Flair and Scott, especially Scott Hall. Scott's fine. He's not even wrestling right now. He's good. But I'm more worried about freaking Tommy Dreamer than Ric Flair. I think we'll forgive Ric Flair over time. Tommy might be fucked. He might be fucked.
Ain't no might be.
Oh, okay. He's fucked. Fucked. Damn.
Right. Like I think in regards to Scott Hall, you know, like honestly, I don't think people really care about that in regards to Scott Hall. Now, as far as Flair, this may be a Hulk Hogan situation where Ric Flair pretty much just got to lay on the low. Don't go on Twitter. Don't make no public appearances. Just lay low, just like Hogan did. And then, you know, a lot of people won't really remember it that much. Now, as far as Tommy Dreamer, bro, man, yo, man, with Tommy Dreamer, man, like I don't know about Tommy Dreamer, man. It's gonna be kind of tough for him. It's gonna be tough.
Well, pray for him. Hopefully, everything works out for him.
Hey, you remember the old buried alive match, Shovel and burying? I'm going in and out again.
You're fine. Keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I said the old Tommy Dreamer, remember the old Triple H meme? He got the shovel and it's like I think it's like a buried alive. Imagine he digging the grave. That's what Tommy Dreamer did.
Yeah, he's I don't even know how you come back from this. Like, you just get on social media and say that it was. I mean, you just gotta come out and say that it was tone deaf and it was fucked up for me to say that. I shouldn't have said it. I think
man,
that's the only thing you can do at this point.
Yeah, that's the only thing he can do. Now the only positive thing, well, I guess the one thing that's kind of helping Tommy Dreamer is that he didn't commit no acts. Now, when guys like Joey Ryan did something and he explained himself, man, that shit made it worse for him, much like the other people. So that's one of the things Tommy Dreamer has on his hand is that he basically just said something dumb. He didn't do no act.
Right.
He just said something stupid. So he may, but again, man, like when it comes to these wrestling fans, they ruthless. They're real ruthless.
They're ruthless, but they're forgiving. That's one thing about wrestling fans, that we're very forgiving. After a certain period of time, we're forgiving. So,
man, I don't know, because I was thinking about Mike Quackenbush. I was thinking about Mike Quackenbush, you know, like, and he came out on social media and he pretty much poured his heart out, you know, like I felt some sympathy for Mike Quackenbush during that speaking out thing. Man, everybody shitted on him still to this day. I'm like, yo, man, like y'all gotta give him a break. And see, the thing was though, like during that Dynamite, after that Dynamite, Bryce Remsburg had a picture of all the Shakara alumni that's in AEW with Orange Cassidy, Ruby Soho, 2.0, Eddie Kingston. All those guys used to be in Shakara, and they all just took a big ass picture together. And then they said, "Don't forget where you came from." I'm like, man, Quackenbush should be in that pick, man. Because if it wasn't for Quackenbush, none of those guys will be in the position that they in now. None of them.
They ran Eddie Kingston off of social media.
I saw that.
He'll be back.
Again, over time, fans will be forgiving. As long as they didn't do anything like Tommy Dreamer, like you said, he just said something stupid. He comes out, he apologizes, takes time off. He'll be okay. I think eventually Flair and Tommy will be able to come back, and nobody will be that mad at them. But yeah, that I am scared for the rest of the season because that was their first episode back. That was Dark Side of the Ring's first episode back, and we still haven't. What else is on the lineup?
I think they got a Chris Canyon episode.
That's next week. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Chris Canyon. They got FMW. Bruh, I'm ready to watch that XPW episode. That's gonna be hilarious. That XPW shit with Rob Black and oh my god, that's gonna be funny. I'm ready for that XPW episode. I'm ready for that one. That's gonna be a laugh for me. With all that crazy shit they did, all that crazy goofy ass shit. And then that stuff they did to Messiah by cutting his thumb off. Those crazy ass motherfuckers, man.
Whoa! I'm not too familiar with that promotion. So they cut somebody's thumb off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this: you're gonna lose your shit when you watch that episode because there's a lot to dig into.
So it's some crazy shit,
man.
Let me guess
shit.
Let me guess that dude Nick Gage was in that promotion too. I guess.
Nah.
He wasn't.
His crazy ass wasn't in there.
Nah. Been in there, but he wasn't.
Like XPW. So the thing with XPW was supposed to be the replacement of ECW when they closed.
Oh, I remember them now. I never watched them, but I remember them back then. Didn't Jerry Lawler show up one time?
Did he? Yeah, I think
I watched the first episode of it and never watched it again.
But the thing about XPW, that dude Rob Black, man, that was a crazy ass motherfucker, man. And didn't nobody like his ass. Nobody didn't like Rob Black. So have you ever saw that shoot promo with the Dudley Boys at when was it, Heat Wave? Was it Heat Wave?
I think. So XPW was kind of like what CZW is.
Yeah. Like, but if it turns out if you go to YouTube, go to YouTube and look up that Dudley Boy shoot promo from ECW. I believe it was Heat Wave. It was Heat Wave. And what happened was that some of the XPW wrestlers were front row, and Bubba Ray saw them. Then Bubba Ray started, going at the wrestlers, saying that, hey, look who we got in the front row. We got this one bitch that loves to suck dick, and this person does this. Then they went out to the ring and they almost fought each other out there.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All shoot. All shoot. That was all the shoot. XPW invaded ECW that night. All shoot.
They invaded them for real. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And then that time when they I think it was when Messiah was in CZW, he said something about Rob Black or his wife. And then all of a sudden, like, he got jumped and his thumb got cut off. But see, the thing is though, some people think it was Rob Black was behind it. Some people think he was, some people didn't think. If you ask me, I think he was behind that bullshit. Now also, if you look on YouTube, you look up Messiah CZW after his thumb got cut off. He's in the ring and he holds his hand up and his thumb is missing. And Messiah says, look, you guys didn't get the job done. The crowd explodes and everything. Wow. Man, that shit was fucking crazy. Bruh. Yo, them motherfuckers XPW was crazy. Now that FMW episode, that's gonna be crazy too. Because if it wasn't for FMW, there'd be no ECW, no Nick Gage, no CZW, no XPW.
Man.
That place FMW. I'm ready to see that FMW episode.
Man, I watched some old matches of like Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher. Like, somebody motherfuckers think ECW and all them motherfuckers was hardcore shit. Not compared to them motherfuckers. they was doing some real crazy shit, man. Man, Abdullah the Butcher, he still got like fucking marks in his fucking head and shit, man. From the shit,
they're never going away.
Never going away.
That's the thing about being a wrestler, man. Some of these scars are permanent, and injuries are permanent for the rest of your life. That's scary.
But as far as that Dark Side of the Ring episode on FMW, like, I really don't know what they're gonna show in that episode, but man, like the stuff they did in the FMW. I mean, like, look, when it comes to Onita, the originator or the founder of FMW, now John Moxley is now, where that Wild Thing song came from, that came from Onita.
Yeah.
That came from Onita, and that exploding barbed wire match came from FMW. Now, as far as the barbed wire match AEW did, that's a whole different ball game.
Oh, we'll talk about that another day, because that was a disaster.
Hey, I remember me and LV had that conversation on her that one time about that match.
Yeah,
man.
Hey, yo, boys, I really do appreciate this. I need to get out of here. So,
all right, no doubt.
Thank y'all for tuning in for the stream. As always, just subscribe to Just Alyx right here in Alex's World, safe space for wrestling fans. Check out my channel. I'm pretty sure he has the link down there. You guys are great. Hope you have a great night. I need to split. You guys take care of yourselves.
Yeah,
all right?
All right, then. I'm going to need to split sometime too, though. But, man. That was a great debate, though. I enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah, it was, man.
How often you guys doing?
So as far as these debates goes, it originated from my non-wrestling channel, and we was doing, certain other debates about polygamy and stuff like that. And then pretty soon it just came to my idea. I was like, well, shit, I might as well do
debate.
Yeah, man, but
shit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really watch that if I was you. Man, but it pretty much got to the point where I said to myself, well, shit, I might as well just do a wrestling debate. And I knew D.Derell from the other sector I was in, and he was a wrestling fan. And I was like, well, shit, who can I get? I just chose Alyx. I talked to Alyx about it. He said, yeah. And then the first one was in July. And then, they wanted to set it up, and then that was tonight. So, it really comes for if anybody wants to debate. But plus, not only that, though, but people donate to me so I can pay the debaters and the judges money so they can be compensated for it.
Okay,
But that's
cool.
how, yeah. So that's how it goes.
Oh yeah, I like that. I'm about to check out as well, but I'm gonna make a bold prediction before I check out. I think AEW, this Grand Slam shows, they're gonna have the greatest ratings ever. They're gonna surpass the day one ratings.
Woo! Damn.
Now
Man.
I don't think it's gonna be like way over. I think it's gonna be like 1.5 or something because the first one was like 1.4, wasn't it?
Damn, man, that's a bold prediction. That's a bold prediction.
It's bold, but man, they're gonna be. It won't shock me if they run an ad. Like, you remember how they ran that ad doing, like, I forgot what show it was. It was like a WWE show that they ran an AEW ad. Like, it would not shock me doing Monday Night Raw. They run an ad for their show. I would do that shit.
Right. Like who knows?
I think if they don't surpass it, it'll come close. I think there's gonna be. I think it's a bold prediction, but I think they're gonna do it, man. They get, like, you look at this card, man. It's like a pay-per-view card, shit.
Right. Right, man. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. But before I go ahead and wrap it up, did Florida State win today?
Fuck no, man. We suck. Hey, North Carolina, y'all gonna beat us by like 4 touchdowns in that fucking game, man. Like, this is the worst start since 1976. That was Bobby Bowden's first year.
Oh shit!
One of my boys on Twitter, he's an FSU fan. We talked and shit. He said, low key, it's kind of glad Bobby Bowden ain't seeing this shit. Probably good that he went on ahead and went up to heaven before this shit season started.
Damn.
Woo.
Damn.
Yeah, it's still
man,
my
that's
team.
great.
No, I ain't claiming no other team or nothing like that. But man, it's just it's like that, man. Jimbo, man, he fucked us over, man. He was looking at other jobs, but he wanted like college football. So it's so big. I don't want to get into like a too big of a college football tangent because it's a wrestling discussion. But college football is big money business, though, man. And they like, it's all about the facilities you got and like how much money you spending and stuff like that, because that's how you get the top recruits. Now they have the NIL. I'm sure you heard about that now, like how the college players, they can like sign endorsement deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it. Hey, I can have you here like an hour talking about that shit. Like how, like I've always thought it was bullshit that you could not get endorsements off your name. Now, if you don't want to pay kids, like, that's fine, but they should not have to sign over their marketing rights just to fucking go to school. Like, if a fucking car company wants me in a fucking commercial and they'll pay me some money, shit, I should be able to get fucking paid for it. So now with that going on, these colleges like Alabama, they gonna keep fucking winning championships, because now they can be like, hey, you go to Alabama, you're gonna get the best fucking endorsement deals you could get now. And Jimbo, he saw Texas A&M. They got all these facilities. They got actually the top facilities in the country. Besides, it's them, like Alabama and like Oregon and Florida State. They just wasn't spending the money like that. So he said, fuck it, he'll leave. We got cheap ass coaches, we get cheap ass results. So that's what's happening now. Like, because we still got, even though we're not recruiting like the way we was with Jimbo, we got more talent than fucking Wake Forest. We shouldn't be losing by 3 touchdowns to fucking Wake Forest. But it is what it is, man. I ain't want to get off to that long tangent, man. You already know, you follow my team. I'm a big sports fan too, so
yeah. Right. Like, I figured I'd just ask you, man, because there's a little bit of Florida State still left in me. I mean, I was never a fan of them, but my cousins used to play over there, like, and I used to follow them while they was over there. So
yeah, but I know you Tar Heel, bro. You Tar Heel, Panthers.
Hell yeah, man, through and through.
Hey, man, Panthers, I think gonna surprise some people this year. I don't think they're gonna beat the Saints tomorrow. I think my boy James is gonna have a little fun, but I'm glad he back in the league, because people try to say he ain't shit. You don't throw for 5,000 yards in the league and don't have no talent. He just had to cut down on the turnovers, which he's doing now. But Panthers, I like what they're doing. Matt Rule,
I just worried that they're gonna lose that offensive coordinator, Joe Judge, next year.
Man, yo, don't remind me. Don't remind me, bro, man. Like, I really wish Joe Brady could stay for a long ass time,
Joe
man.
Brady. That's what I meant to say, not Joe Judge.
Yeah, man. Like, I really want him to stay, man. But I know at some point in time he about to be a head coach in a few years, man. So I'm trying to,
Hopefully
I'm
he keep
just
a couple more
trying to save
years,
her.
because if he leaves, then that's like another system that Sam Darnold got to learn and all that, and just quarterbacks, man, they gotta be comfortable, man. When you gotta learn, like, NFL systems, difficult to fucking learn, and if you learning a new one every fucking year, you can't even like just play freely at quarterback. That's why, like, Mahomes, even he's so talented, his system in the back of his head, he ain't gotta think about that shit. He can just fucking go out there.
Right.
He know where everybody at and everything. That's how Peyton Manning was. But yeah. But I think Panthers got I think they got a bright future, man. I really do. They drafted well last couple of years. I think y'all gonna be good, man.
Right, man. Like, I think we're the youngest team in the league, aren't we?
Yeah, one of the youngest. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, it goes back to the new owner. The new owner wanted to strip everything down. Like, and I told the dude, I was like, look, like, I'll give you about 5 years. So in about 5 years, I'll give you a reevaluation. So we in year 2. So I mean,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, like last year with the Panthers, man, like they were in a lot of close games they were losing, man. Like, where it just could have been here or there, man. But maybe they could start winning some of those games now.
Yeah, man. But we'll see. We'll see though. But yeah, man, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this up, man. I really appreciate you coming in, man.
Oh, no doubt, man. All right, yeah, have a good one. Stay safe.
All right, you too, bro. All right, guys. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. Long live stream. Again, appreciate everyone for subscribing to Wrestling is Lit. Going to do a lot more content on that channel pretty soon. So this was a good start. Also, the people, shout out to y'all coming on the Be Accountable channel. We did some really good numbers on both platforms. So that's always a good thing. And as always, guys, until I have another one, I'll see y'all later.